Hey guys. This is part 2 of What If Naruto Killed Sasuke. Hit like and subscribe if you like this one, and also please check the author in the description. Let's start. Chapter 10. Me, Sama, you, a distant voice said. Naruto couldn't tear his vision from the fire to even begin to acknowledge someone was talking to him. Figuring whoever it was got tired of trying to gain his attention, Naruto felt a hand on his shoulder, immediately followed by the sensation of a shunshin, and then a hug. So disoriented it took him several moments to realize he was in the Hokage tower, and it was Tsunade hugging him. Finally regaining his awareness, he managed to hear the end of her question. Yes, Tsunade-sama, I'm fine. Looking at the boy, Tsunade can tell he's anything but fine. She becomes concerned for the boy, his eyes looking like they did the night they spoke at that bar. Damn it, and he was making progress, she thinks. Trying to come up with a tangible way to reassure Naruto, she says, Naruto, we will launch a full investigation into the fire no matter where it leads, you have my word. Taking some comfort that someone cares enough to do something, Naruto thanks Tsunade for that and her concern. If that's all, Tsunade-sama, I need to arrange for a place to stay for the night. Why not stay at the Senju compound with Shizune and I? We have plenty of rooms, so you'd have privacy, and it'd be good company. I truly appreciate the offer, but I couldn't impose. You've done enough for me as is, and I wouldn't want to take advantage of your generosity. Naruto, believe me, it wouldn't be an imposition, besides I could just always order you to do it, she said, narrowing her eyes. Aware enough to know when he's lost, and to feel a bit of fear, Naruto accepts her offer and heads out to grab some essentials until he is allowed back into his apartment. Kakashi follow him to make sure nothing happens and escort him to the compound. We don't know if the fire was an attack, but we can assume he thinks it is, and with everything else he's likely to lash out at any perceived act of hostility. Hi, Hokage-sama. As Kakashi exists via Shunshin, Tsunade hears the signature tapping of Danzo's cane as the elder enters her office. Evening, Tsunade-sama. I understand my student has met with some misfortune. Sighing, Tsunade can only nod at the statement. And what will you do? I will have it investigated. There isn't much I can do until we have the facts. Forgive me. I don't mean about the fire, I am referring to my student. I cannot imagine he has taken it well. What will you do? He'll be staying at the Senju compound for the time being, but outside of that, what can I do? He looked at his limit, and I'm worried that if anything else happens he'll attack. So why not let him? Seeing Tsunade go wide-eyed, Danzo continues, not in the village, of course. Give him and Kakashi a mission that guarantees combat. Let him direct that energy at safe targets instead of sitting on it. I guess that's better than him going after Hiashi. That could be debated, Danzo says as he leaves her office. After the initial shock, Tsunade can only laugh at Danzo's parting remark. At the Hokage monument, sitting on top of his father's head, Naruto looks out onto the village. So lost in his head he nearly didn't sense his visitor. I'd really rather be alone with my thoughts. Humor an old man, would you? I thought my humoring you was one of the reasons you turned on me, Sandaime-sama. Naruto replied. Maybe you have a point, maybe. What can I do for, Sandaime-sama? I heard about your apartment. I just wanted to see if you were alright. I am just great. Will that be all? Naruto, it doesn't have to be like this. I know I've made mistakes. I tried to make up for past failures by saddling you with baggage you didn't deserve. You'll never know how much I regret it, and its consequences. Great, just great. You regret the consequences? Well, I have to still live with them. Everyone's so fucking sorry after the fact. What good is your sorry? Hiashi coerces Hinata to break off all ties with me because of your opinion of me. I lose the person I love, but hey, at least you regret your actions. What a fair trade that is. Naruto, I didn't know. Let me speak with Hiashi, see if I can fix this. You can't. You know what kind of person he is. I'd have to hold a kunai to his throat before he'd ever admit he was wrong, nor would he pass up this chance to keep Hinata under his thumb. For all I know, your irrational fear of me was only a pretense, and he would have always had a reason to pull this. Naruto, I'm sorry. For everything, for not trying harder. I'm sorry. I believe you, I'm just not sure how much it matters. Naruto says before he departs, leaving Hiruzen alone. I will make this up to you, Naruto, I promise. The next day. Naruto, do you understand the mission? Yes, we're about to make some assholes have a really bad day, and then no days after that. That's a way of putting it. The encampment should be within your sensory range. What can you tell me? About 30 chakra signatures, only 2 significant, so missing Nin. So, how would you like to handle this? Kakashi asks as he signals for his pupil to stop. I have an idea. It should handle most of them while driving the missing Nin in a controlled direction if they get out. And how do you plan to drive them to my direction? To this, Naruto only smirks before creating 15 Kage Bushins. You'll see, sensei. They should be in position in 15 minutes. Nodding to the blonde, Kakashi and Naruto continue on to the camp. Getting the feedback from 4 of his clones, Naruto informs Kakashi that they are in position and he'll be back to help with the missing Nin. Kakashi only has to wait 2 minutes longer when he feels a large, coordinated chakra spike. Fire style, dragon flame bullet, wind style, great breakthrough. After that, all that was heard were screams as the white-hot flames raged through the unsuspecting encampment. Naruto had predicted the 2 missing Nins would make it out of the ambush, but he had underestimated himself. Only one did. Kakashi Hatake? What do I owe the pleasure? Naruto, what has Uncle Kakashi told you about ruining his fun? Not to, precisely. Although, sensei, that reminds me, we need to talk. Yes, I believe we do given all of this, Kakashi said, pointing to the funeral pyre still burning. Oh, no, that can wait. Sensei, you're a high-rank shinobi, yes? Flatterer. Yes, I am. So, why is it every time we come across an enemy ninja none of them consider running from you? Zabuza I somewhat get, but the rest of them? It can't just be pride. Sensei, are you some legendary dick? It's the only thing that makes sense. Kakashi can only laugh. Yes, Naruto, I am. I go out of my way to antagonize enemy ninja. I figure if they feel some type of way about it, they can fight me. It usually ends poorly for them when they do and I get a workout. Fun for everyone, until they end up dead, I suppose. Now wrap him up so we can head back. You're weird, sensei. I've seen you have full-on debates with 20 copies of yourself. Let's not judge. The mission report in itself is mildly disturbing. Maybe she's being hypocritical since the mission was wholesale slaughter but killing 29 people with 3 jutsu. That's not normally. The effortless killing of AB rank IWA Nin to top off the night, and Tsunade doesn't know whether to be concerned, proud, or relieved. Concerned because a 13-year-old has shown the ability to bring a lot of death very quickly without much effort. Chakra, am I right? Proud, because he's only been serious trained for less than a year, counting the Chunin exams, and this kid can bring a lot of death quickly and without much effort. He's what a ninjutsu specialist should be, not those idiots that exchange ninjutsu like it's a game, but knowing what jutsu to use and when to end the fight. If they were on better terms, Sarutobi-sensei would likely have an ideal apprentice in Naruto. Chakra for days and an intuitive grasp of ninjutsu. It's a shame, really. Oh, and finally relief. Why would Tsunade be relieved? Because he didn't bring that death in the village, on say a certain clan of arrogant bastards. Yeah, she's going to go with relief on this one. BT, what was truly disturbing was Danzo's giggle. He was giggling like a pervert reading porn. It was unsettling. If that's all, Naruto, you are dismissed. And with a nod, her favorite blonde leaves. Turning to the Jonin in the room, Kakashi, I've asked you to keep me abreast of his progress. You never mentioned he was learning fire release. That's because I didn't know, Tsunade-sama. I just thought he'd throw a lot of those exploding kunai he's fond of. Danzo, do you have something to contribute? I didn't know he knew any katan jutsu. I attempted to get him to complete the nature manipulation exercises, but when he started them he said, and I quote, I don't like fire style. It feels like mindless destruction. No wonder it fit the team so well. So, I assumed he had stopped developing it. Apparently I was mistaken. Danzo said with a shrug. Okay, I need you both to impress upon him he can't keep his abilities a secret from us. We need to know what he can do so we can plan for the Akatsuki. Also, you really let him stop learning something because of that? I never learned Doton Jutsu because I thought Hiruzen was a bit of a bastard, so I could relate. I'm surrounded by widows, Tsunade said, more to herself than anything. In AME. Alright, gang, good to have you all here. I know these quarterly meetings can be a bit dry, but they are important. So, I'm going to get the most pressing news out of the way. We've had a bit of a setback. It has been confirmed. The standby is currently out of play. It'll take at least 3 years for it to form, so we're going to be switching plans a little. We'll be taking more missions while Zetsu keeps tabs on the other containers. Now, I know this is disappointing, but things happen and this is no one's fault. With that out of the way, Kakuza, how are we financially? Good, Leader-sama. If we keep our current mission intake, we'll have some nice reserves when we start collecting containers again. Excellent. So, with the major things out of the way, does anyone have anything to say? Issues needing addressing? I have one, Leader-sama. Then Daidara-kun, you have the floor. I'm concerned. I feel like we've formed a bond here, but that is threatened when one of us seems to not want to contribute. And by one of us you mean me? Yes, Itachi, I mean you? And what hurts the most is you're the one that recruited me. I thought we had such a good time, but after that you just can't be bothered. He's right, Itachi. When I try to discuss Jashin with you, I can tell you aren't even listening. Being a criminal is one thing, but no need to be a dick. Use your words, Tachi-kun. I hate you so much, Kisame. So very much. Love you too, Tachi-kun. Look, guys, I know I'm not the warmest person. I tend to keep my own counsel. I don't know why, it's just my inclination, but I understand how that can be disharmonious to the group and our aims. I can't promise to change overnight, but I can try. So why not start now? Tell us something about yourself. Let's see. My name is Itachi Uchiha. I like Paki, Genjutsu. I loved my little brother. I hate war and arrogance. My hobbies are training, people watching, and breakdancing. I seek peace. You breakdance? Kisame asked. Yes, we need proof. The rest of the group chorused. What followed was Itachi pulling off an impressive series of moves. Alright, well, that was entertaining. Thanks, Itachi. Now if there is nothing more, why don't we bring it? Group hug! Shouts Haiden. The training period had come to an end. Now was the time to see if he would be accepted to the elite of the village's shinobi forces. If he succeeds, there will be no more saving princesses, which he's done twice since becoming a Chunin, but embracing the darkness of his chosen profession. The darkness that molded Itachi and in some respect broke Danzo. He had been concerned if he could really do it, keep up with the ANBU forces, but like so much of his life, the decided lack of choice makes the concern moot. Right now, that lack of choice is represented by 4 ANBU agents attempting to take his head in the middle of this forest at night. I need to create some space and regroup, Naruto thought as he dodged a series of kunai barely perceivable in the darkness of the night. Knowing the goal of the kunai was to herd him into a trap, Naruto instead darts to the source, immediately creating 2 Kage Bunshin and having them disperse to blind his assailant. Using the temporary distraction, Naruto hurriedly runs deeper into the forest. Same report, commanded Tora. He distracted me with chakra smoke, Taicho, and is currently running deep into the forest. He's likely setting up traps. We've lost the element of surprise. Damn it, how did we let a recruit slip past us? You underestimated him, Tori. We all did. How do we proceed? Carefully said Tora. 4 shadowy figures give pursuit in a diamond formation, looking for the potential new recruit. In their haste, they missed the kunai positioned in a triangular fashion until it was too late. Uzumaki style. Try flame formation barrier Fuin, Naruto calls out, ensnaring the 4 ANBU in his trap. Naruto emerges from the tree, breathing a visible sigh of relief that his trap worked, until he sees one of the figures disperse into mud and is immediately on guard, narrowly ducking the odachi aimed for his head. Steadying himself, Naruto puts his hands on the kodachi, sharing a scabbard on his lower back, awaiting the charge. The 2 shinobi don't move, waiting for the other to give them the smallest of openings, and feeling confident he found one, Rayon attacks. Quickly closing the distance, Rayon performs a vertical slash on Naruto, who blocks the attack with one of his kodachi while taking a swipe at Rayon's neck with the other. Tilting backward, Rayon avoids the attack and creates space between the two. Seeing the first light of dawn, Naruto knows the test is almost coming to a close and fights back a grin with the utmost effort. Seeing time is almost up, Rayon dashes toward Naruto, hoping to subdue the potential recruit, and begins a relentless assault. While practiced, Naruto is not as skilled with his blades as his attacker is and is being overwhelmed by the superior kenjutsu artist. Soon enough, Rayon has his blade to Naruto's neck, forcing him to drop his weapons. Do you yield? Why would I do that? You're a good kid, but don't get cocky. Yield before I hurt you to prove a point. Do what you must, but you should be more mindful of your surroundings, Naruto says as he disperses into a cloud of smoke. Earth style. Swamp of the underworld is all Rayon hears before he sinks into the ground. Clapping was the first sign someone else was there, someone capable to slip past his sensory ability. When he looks up to see where the sound is coming from, he sees the ANBU commander, Dragon. You did very well, Naruto, and I would like to personally welcome you into ANBU. We take the most dangerous missions, often unseen and unheard. This is not the place for personal glory but service to your village and the Hokage. From henceforth you will be known as Gamma. Congratulations. Be at ANBU HQ in 1 hour, Dragon said, immediately leaving by Shunshin afterward. As the shadow clone maintaining the barrier dispersed and Gamma helped up Rayon, he can't help but wonder what the next 3 years of his life will entail. Hokage-sama, Dragon, how'd he do? Better than expected. We always tell recruits they must make it to dawn, but truthfully they rarely do. He accomplished all he needed 2 hours within to the test. Allowing herself a small smile, Tsunade speaks. Who were the recruits that managed to last the entire night? Beside Uzumaki-san, only Anko Mitarashi and Itachi Uchiha. Chapter 11. It's been a year and a half since Naruto's entrance into ANBU, and the blonde shinobi has taken to his assignment like a fish to water. While Kakashi had done an excellent job training him, the truth of the ANBU is that you simply cannot be prepared for what they do to new recruits by design. Whatever your level may be, they simply go beyond it, so you do not get complacent. The training and the missions are hard, but Naruto has never felt more powerful. Every skill has improved. This is not to say that the entire time there has been smooth. His first assassination mission did not go off as cleanly as one would hope. Gamma, you will be paired with Same for this mission. We believe one of our brokers is leaking information to IWA. We've had an increasing number of skirmishes with their shinobi, and the pattern lead us to him. The order is to remove him, but it cannot look like an assassination. Hi, Tora Taicho. When and where should I carry this out? Gamma asked, trying to hide his nervousness. The target is paranoid and has a security system that makes his house nearly impenetrable without notice. However, it only activates at night given how sensitive and cumbersome it is, and has a timed release for the morning. You'll need to sneak in before nightfall, carry out your mission and wait until dawn to slip out unnoticed. Tora said. Does the target live alone? Asked Same. No, he has a wife and 3 kids, but she takes the children on an annual trip around this time every year. That's when you'll strike. If there are no further questions, I want you two to leave immediately, both subordinates said. It took 3 days of travel to get to the town in Earth Country, and just like Tora said, the wife had taken the kids. Gamma found an accessible entry point. It being unseasonably warm made their target keep a window open. A simple hinge, and Gamma snuck through the window with no problem and stowed away in a cellar. Shortly after gaining entrance, the target left, returning almost an hour later with an unforeseen complication. Apparently, the target had or was continuing to have an affair, one that produced a child. That child was currently in the residence. A sense of dread overcame Gamma as he debated whether he should continue the mission or put it off for later. Each option carried risks, but if this man was supplying IWA with information on our missions, therefore movement of our forces, a delay could result in fatalities among Leaf Nin. Steeling himself, Gamma continued to wait until 3 a.m. when he created a shadow clone and snuck into the target's room. That shadow clone immediately blurred the hand signs for a privacy seal, while the original Gamma put a paralysis seal on the target. Reaching into his waistband, Gamma pulled out a syringe filled with potassium chloride. Forcibly opening the target's mouth, Gamma injected the poison under the target's tongue. The effect was near instantaneous as the target's eyes became wide, but the paralysis seal prevented him from moving. Not even a minute later, the target was dead from heart failure. Given the man's age and size, no one should ask too many questions, and given the potential scandal of his love child, the focus may be on elsewhere. Just as Gamma dispersed his clone and dropped the privacy seal, he heard footsteps coming down the hall. Quickly entering the bedroom closet, Gamma waited for the child to enter the room, praying he would just go to the bathroom. Dad, I had bad dream. Can I sleep in here? The child asked. Dad? The child said as he shook his father. Dad. He said a little more desperately as the man continued to be unresponsive. Dad, wake up. Please. He screamed as the child broke down. He pleaded with his father to awake, hoping this an elaborate prank, or if not, he'd be granted a miracle. Gamma assumed, but neither of those happened. What made it worse was that the kid, likely not a frequent visitor, didn't know how to deactivate the security in case of emergency, so was locked in the house with his dead father and his father's murderer. Around 6 am the security system disabled for the morning, and the kid ran out of the house toward the neighbors. Gamma took this opportunity to leave and meet up with Same. After a few days of traveling and mostly silence, Same asked Gamma, why didn't you just send in a shadow clone? Shadow clones can only do what the original can do. I didn't know if I could kill a civilian like that, so sending a shadow clone was too big a risk given they can think for themselves and choose not to follow my directives. Nothing more was said until they arrived back into Konoha. It took a few days and a lot of talking with Tsunade to get Naruto out of his funk. The talk helped with the nightmares he was having. Because the two were often paired up on their mission, Naruto became closer to Same than his other squad members, which is saying something because the squad as a whole were pretty close. This is the team dynamic Naruto wished he had while on Team 7, but it was nice to have it now. Naruto helped Same with his ninjutsu, and Same taught Naruto kenjutsu with a katana. While he'd likely always prefer his dual kodachi, he was never one to turn down training. Besides, it made his mom incredibly happy. My Sochi is finally learning to fight with a proper blade. Once you get adept at the basics, maybe I can show you a few katas, any? Kushina said as she stroked Naruto's hair as his head lay in her lap. I'd like that, although I think my dual kodachi are proper blades. They seem to cut through everything I need them to. Pfft. Why have two blades when one can do? Katanas rule all, databang. Naruto could only snicker in response and nod in agreement. If it made her happy, he'd learn as much about wielding a katana as he could. His time in the ANBU was not without lose, as a mission in Rice Country saw Same fall to one of Orochimaru's former followers. Due to his fall, Oto had been in disarray and ANBU teams were tasked with handling the most dangerous elements there. It had been a routine mission with the squad until they had to separate. There were 4 large chakra signatures in the area. Same and Gamma got stuck with 2 with interesting and lethal Kekai Genkai. One had Shoton, the other Shikatsumiyaku. Both were a bad matchup for Same, but seeing as how the bone guy looked sickly, it was decided Gamma would take the crystal girl and hurry back to him as fast as he could. The fight between Gamma and the Shoton user lasted longer than he would have liked, as the crystals offered powerful offensive and defensive options, managing to wound Gamma with a crystal spike. However, he managed to catch her off guard with a wind-empowered exploding kunai. While he wasn't enough to kill her, the blast threw her back and left her unprepared for the kunai that was sunk into her skull to the ring on the handle, killing her instantly. As Gamma raced off to help Same, he saw his comrade and friend being run through with a bone sword, as the bone user appeared to have an advanced form of the cursed seal. Trying to keep calm, Gamma created 4 Kage Bunshin and each charged toward his final opponent. One clone removed Same from the vicinity of the fight, while the others went on the attack. Even with wind chakra coating their blades, the cuts didn't do significant damage to the Oto Nin, which was fine. The attack was just a misdirection anyway. The Oto Nin didn't notice the 3 kunai surrounding him in a triangular fashion, nor was he fast enough to escape the fire barrier, the same barrier Gamma used in his entrance test. Gamma could tell the bone user looked smug, and it was all confirmed when he spoke. You can trap me, little ANBU, but the barrier will eventually fall, and when it does I'll kill you like I did your comrade. Yule. He didn't finish his diatribe as he was engulfed in white-hot flames, flames hot enough to melt steel or incinerate a body. Had this been 6 months previous, the now pile of ashes may have had a reason to be confident. But not being satisfied with just making a barrier, Naruto improved his techniques so each elemental barrier offered a form of attack. Wind barriers offered a perfect vacuum in which to suffocate those entrapped. The lightning barrier could shock someone with increasing levels of intensity, and the fire barrier would burn someone alive. It was cold comfort, however, as even avenging his friend did little to dull the pain of having lost him. The trip back to Konoha was quiet for the squad as they mourned the fallen. It was, once again, Tsunade who helped Naruto through his grief, as she had experienced what not mourning properly could do to a person. Speaking of Tsunade, Naruto still lived at the Senju compound with her and Shizune. The investigation into the fire was completed shortly after he was inducted into ANBU, the duration caused by the thoroughness of the investigation. While Naruto was incredulous that the fire was caused by faulty wiring, the fact that the fire started on a level below his gave credence to the results. Deciding not to let his history override facts, he accepted the fire as an unfortunate accident off a poorly maintained building, one that got the building manager and owner into some serious trouble over. Tsunade is scary when she wants to be. Her ability to invoke terror is how she managed to make Naruto promise he'd have dinner with her at least twice a week if he were in town. When he initially moved into the compound, he attempted to stay out of Tsunade and Shizune's way, which led to some faulty assumptions, namely, that he wasn't comfortable around them. After an awkward conversation, Naruto admitted that he had lived alone for so long he simply didn't know how to live with someone else or be a proper guest, so he just tried to be as out of the way as possible. The two ladies reassured Naruto that he was more than just a guest and should think of the compound as his home. It took a while, but they all eventually settled into a nice groove. Naruto particularly loved the training grounds. They were serene, and it was a remote one where he was trying to take his Doton and Suiton manipulation to the next level after seeing the level Toritaicho was at the releases. It took a few months, mainly because he simply couldn't use his clones for this, but he eventually able to perfect the earth style, rampart of flowing soil, and the water style, waterfall basin jutsu, to the point he was able to create a 30-foot waterfall with only minimal chakra exhaustion. With some help from Toritaicho, adding a wooden water wheel and Jiraiya aiding in seals, Naruto was not only able to keep the waterfall a secret but make it a permanent part of the property. Both Tsunade and Shizune loved surprise. Naruto had taken to climbing up the waterfall with his hands as a chakra control exercise once he got used to running up it. He eventually asked Tsunade for some more strenuous exercises as the intensity of the ANBU training and his continued studies in Fuinjutsu, politics of elemental nations and anything else that struck his fancy meant his already massive chakra reserves were continuing to expand, so he had to perform hard control exercises to keep up. Speaking of Jiraiya, the two have adopted something of a strained, yet professional, relationship. Jiraiya offers his input on Naruto's Fuinjutsu projects and spars when he's in town. He also introduced Naruto to Fukasaku-sama, one of the elder toads Naruto will be training with in year 3. The two got along well enough. Apparently, as long as you mind your manners, the old toad isn't so bad. Naruto's training time with Danzo had been limited the first year, not only getting adjusted to the demands of the ANBU lifestyle, but Danzo wanted to see how Naruto would develop without his guidance. He was impressed that his young pupil had not only sought to master every jutsu in his arsenal, but had begun experimenting with creating his own. This led to something of an uncomfortable meeting about 3 months ago on the Senju training grounds. "Sensei, what is the Sandaime doing here?" "Naruto, for your ninjutsu studies to progress as far as they can, you need training from the greatest ninjutsu mind in the elemental nations, and Hiruzen has graciously offered to help. You may have reservations, but please know you are going to accept his help, like an adult, or I'll cane you and won't help you learn the vacuum release nor request Tsunadeheim let you see the Nidaime's notes on his Suiken jutsu." "Ah, come on, sensei, no complaining." "Fine. I'll gladly accept your help, Sandaime-sensei." "Good, my boy. First, I need to see what you can do, so we'll have a spar," Hiruzen said with a gleam in his eyes. The spar was really more of a beating, with Naruto wasting chakra in between. The old man didn't even seem to be trying, which made Naruto revert back to some of his younger behavior. "You could at least pretend to breathe hard, GG. Mean old Hokages, picking on teenagers." Hiruzen had to fight back his smile as Naruto continued to rant and rave. Time under Danzo or even Naruto's own attempts can only suppress the Uzumaki temper so much. Since Hiruzen began helping Naruto become a master of ninjutsu, there had been a slow thaw between the two, and while Naruto may never trust him like he did as a child, he hoped the boy could forgive an old fool before he departed for the pure world. Naruto had also begun to establish better relationships with much of his graduating class and Team Guy, with 2 exceptions. While Naruto had already started to develop a friendship with Team 10 due to his training with Asuma-sensei, he also found a great sparring partner and lead during his off days with the ANBU. Him and Shino still got along well, though it took them some time to navigate the Hinata issues since neither wanted to betray her privacy, but Naruto still wanted to know she was doing okay. Speaking of Hinata, she had made Chunin shortly after Naruto entered the ANBU, and while he couldn't have direct contact with her, sneaking into the Hyuga compound and her room to leave her a gift, a necklace with a star-shaped charm with sapphire and amethyst gems in it. He also left her a scroll on creating privacy seals with just hand signs. He had the brightest smile when he saw her wearing her gift at the dinner the senseis threw for the new Chunins. He hadn't seen much of her, but he was aware she was being pushed to start accepting dates from potential suitors. As much as it hurt, he realized that this was going to happen. She requested he not wait for her, and it appeared she wouldn't have the choice to wait for him, and while he wasn't dating anyone, he wasn't exactly alone, which brings us to the present. "I really wish you wouldn't sneak out the window like we're doing something wrong or shameful." "I know we aren't, it's just weird, being in my idol's house and you know." Why don't you explain it to me?" Naruto said, fighting off a smirk. "Ugh, you're insufferable. It's weird having sex with my best friend in my idol's house, okay? Is that what you want to hear?" "I heard what I wanted to hear last night. A whole lot of yes, oh, and my name, so I'm good." "You're a bastard," Tenten said, now fighting off her own smirk and a bit of blush. "That may be, Tenchan, that may be, but this bastard managed to snag you an awesome birthday present." "Oh, really?" "Of course, it's in that black-rimmed scroll on the desk, but that's only part of it." Reaching for the storage scroll, Tenten unseals the content and is initially rendered speechless. Rushing over to Naruto, she plants a kiss on his lips and proceeds to thank him. "How did you get these?" "It was during a mission about a month or so ago. We were tasked with removing this element in a mining town, and Raiga was there." "You have to tell me about it." "There really isn't much to tell, it wasn't much of fight. I had to seal off the chakra of this kid he was working with though. Anyway, after we dealt with him and freed the town, the squad agreed to let me keep the swords to gift to a friend, and here we are. You, Tenten, are the proud owners of the Kiba blades. You sure do know how to spoil a girl, Uzumaki." "I do what I do. I think I'm going to be late for training today," Tenten said as she starts to undress. "Oh my." Chapter 12. You said the Kiba were only part of my present, Tenten says. Oh, you remembered that, did you? Yes, while I was in the shower. Now what's the other part? I asked Kakashi-sensei to help you mold right-on chakra. Thank you, Naruto. She replied with a 1,000-watt smile. Of course, you've always been there for me and I can never truly thank you, so I figured, why not a legendary weapon? I can't fault your logic. Well, I need to get out of here. I'm incredibly late. Just tell Gai-sensei you were stoking your flames of you. I'd really rather not. You're coming to my party tonight, yes? Let me rephrase. Uzumaki, you will be at my part tonight, and if I have to come find you, you won't be happy. God, fine Panda-chan, I'll be there. Good, and no fighting. What the hell kind of thing is that to say? I don't just go around fighting people, you know. I can think of 2 specific instances where that was not the case. They were both being assholes. Also, we never actually fought, if you recall. Yes, because you were stopped. Or do you not remember breaking Shino's hand? He should have just let me deck Kiba and I felt crappy that I hurt him. But no one got hurt the other time, because I stopped you. Look, I don't have time for this. They'll both be there. Just make polite for me. Fine for you. Thank you, now I'm off. Tenten says as she hops out the window and leaves via Shunshin. Deciding to start his day, Naruto showers and changes into some casual clothing before heading to the kitchen where he finds Shizune with the unsettling grin. Ohio, Naruto-kun. Ohio, Shizune. What's with the grin? Oh, nothing, I just heard the most peculiar sounds last night. And this morning, I saw someone make a hasty exit from your bedroom window. Really? I may have to look into the security seals then. We shouldn't have intruders where the Hokage resides. Is that how you want to play this? I don't have the foggiest as to what you mean, Shizune-chan. Okay, but remember, you wanted this. Anyway, what's on the agenda today? I have to meet the new member of my squad today and Tenten has her party tonight, but other than that my day is pretty open, so who knows. Alright, well, I've got to get to the hospital, but I'll be seeing you later, stud. Oh, Tenten, glad you could make it. Sorry, sensei, I had a late start. It's fine, Lee and Neji are sparring, so we have a bit. Oh, my rival informed me that Naruto got you a most youthful present. Kakashi said he'd be by before training ended it to set up a schedule. The two walk over to where Lee and Neji were concluding their spar. Hi, Tenten, happy birthday. Thanks, Lee. Guy and Lee soon depart to stoke their youthful flames, leaving Tenten and Neji alone. Tenten, I noticed you were coming from the opposite direction of your apartment. Good morning to you too, Neji. I see you're still consorting with the Uzumaki. I don't see how that's any of your business. You had the opportunity to be the one I consort with, and you turned me down. It isn't that simple. There are clan matters to consider. I'm not free to simply do as I wish without consequence. So you've said, and yet you didn't even take a chance. At least Hinata and Naruto were brave enough to try to be together. You won't even see if it's possible. So now what? You won't be with me, but no one else can either? What do you want me to do? I've been cursed, fated to serve and be controlled by the main branch, and you do nothing to change it. Do you ally yourself with Hinata? Do you try learning Fuinjutsu? Do you even try to get me information on the seals so I or Naruto could begin to help you? No, you just sulk and bitch while laying down and taking it. You do nothing to improve your situation, and yet you have the nerve to judge me? To shame me, you arrogant prick, Tenten. I've apologized about that. And yet you always feel free to offer a snide comment about one of my oldest friends, someone who was there for me when you rejected me. Who was willing to defend me. To hell with the consequences. Look, I can accept you don't want to be with me. I was hoping you'd either take a chance or if not we could still be friends, but now I'm not sure I even want to remain on the team. I won't be a perpetual target for your disrespect. I'm not Hinata and I don't feel like I owe you a damn thing. Before Neji could respond, Tenten leaves via Shunshin. Neji's feelings of guilt quickly turn to anger, as he deems the source of his rift with Tenten to be caused not by his actions nor, ironically, by fate but by Naruto himself. Having selecting a sufficient target, Neji heads off to find the Uzumaki to confront him once and for all. Back at the Senju compound, we find Naruto currently sitting by the Senju waterfall, as he called it, entertaining company. So, why am I here again? Because I want to bro down with my favorite summons. You're just bored, aren't you? I'm so incredibly bored, Gamakichi. Why not train? I have something to do later on, so no getting sweaty before then. Garden? I've seen to it. Daikins are nearly ready to be picked. Ooh, awesome, you'll have to send me a few. Of course. What about working on some seals? Considered it. I don't want to lose time because I'm too involved. Besides, I need some non-shinobi hobbies. Well, you're in quite the pickle, bro. That's what I've been saying. Before Naruto finishes his statement, he lets out a hard sigh as he senses someone approaching. Looks like I won't be bored for long. Kami must want to teach me a lesson. What's that now? There's someone on his way here and this person isn't a fan of me nor I him. I should have enjoyed the lull. Oh well, let's get ready to greet our guest, any? I'm down. Think you'll fight? Hopefully not. It would upset Tenten and Hinata if I hurt him. Well, I got your back. Thanks, Kichi. Moments later, a seething, for a Hyuga anyway, Neji arrives. Yuzu, do you often come on clan compounds uninvited? I hope you have a good justification for this lapse in decorum. You realize the Hokage resides, yes? Since when do you care about decorum? Logical fallacies won't save you. Now, why have you disturbed my toad friend and I? Whatever your relationship with Tenten is, it needs to end. Neji, we've done this before. I'm not interested in doing it again. Leave the grounds and never attempt to bring this up again. Naruto says as he turns his back to Neji toward the waterfall. I will not be dismissed by you, Uzumaki. You will cease this unsorted relationship even if I have to make you. Naruto can only laugh at this foolish boy, angering Neji further. Neji, we've done this before. What Tenten and I do is none of your business. If you want it to be your business, then find your backbone, coward. Now reaching his breaking point, Neji dashes toward Naruto, causing him to turn and face him just as Neji lashes out with a palm strike directly to Naruto's heart. A potentially fatal blow if this Naruto weren't a shadow clone. Before Neji can process what he just attempted to do, he feels a hand grab his right calf, and then everything goes black. When Neji regains consciousness, he sees that he is on a couch in Hayashi's office, with Hiashi, Naruto, and Hinata looking at him expectantly. Now that he's awake, we can resolve this. Your member entered the Senju clan grounds uninvited and proceeded to attack me. The Hokage will have to be informed about this as it is her clan grounds and I am her guest. I hope you and she can resolve this issue without too much hassle, Hayashi-san. Naruto said before dispersing. Bristling at the lack of proper honorific, Hiashi glares at Neji. Neji, because of your foolhardy actions you have likely shamed the clan. I don't know what I'll have to do to resolve this, but it will likely leave me on even shakier ground with the Hokage. Someone, I might add, who is not exactly fond of me. If it were Sarutobi-sama we could have come to an understanding, but with Tsunade? She will want a pound of flesh, so you need to explain to me what was worth you attempting to kill a fellow leaf nin on the Hokage's familial land. It was a personal matter, Hayashi-sama. The Uzumaki has a way of infuriating me and I lost my composure. It will not happen again. No, that is not good enough. This is the second time I have heard about you attempting to attack him, only this time you got your ass handed to you. Hayashi-sama, he used tricks. The Uzumaki could never defeat me in combat. Are you really this foolish? Neji, he brought you here, knocked out and tied up with ninja wire. If that had been any enemy he'd have killed you, possibly after having removed your eyes. You are not a child. You insisting that tricks do not count could get you killed someday. Hi, Hayashi-sama. Will that be all? For now. As Neji exits, Hiashi turns to address Hinata. You were awfully quiet on this issue. I'm sorry, what was I to say? Hinata asks, adopting an emotionless mask. As the heiress you are expected to have opinions on matters that affect the clan. I'm not sure what opinion there is to be had. Neji's error is on you to fix. Seems pretty straightforward. Will you be present at this meeting? No, I have other matters to attend to. If I may be excused. Yes, Hinata, go on. Thank you. Hiashi can only slouch in an unhyuga-like manner as he thinks. She doesn't even refer to me as father anymore. Allow for the moment to pass. Hiashi prepares to meet Tsunade and hopes she's not out for blood. Entering ANBU HQ, Naruto sees his squad has already gathered. Am I late? He asks. No, Gamma. We've actually all just got here early. Let me formally introduce you to our new permanent squad member, Hibi. Hello, Hibi. Nice to have you on board. Thank you, Gamma-san. So, Gamma, since you weren't here for your entry test, why not show her around and familiarize her with our schedule? Hi, Taicho. Hibi, if you can follow me. As the two walk around the HQ, Naruto informs her of their training schedule and primary responsibilities as a squad along with the specializations of each squad member. So, what would be your specialty, Hibi? Taijutsu, poisons and interrogation. Excellent with those, you should fit right in. How about ninjutsu? What are your affinities? Primarily Suiton with a weaker right on secondary. Awesome. If you ever want help with your Suiton jutsu, let me know. You have a Suiton affinity? Yes, but I've completed the nature manipulation exercises for every element but lightning. That's impressive. No wonder you're the ninjutsu specialist on the team. Scratching the back of his head at the praise, Naruto can only nod at the compliment as he finishes the tour. Do you know what kind of weapon you'll be wielding for your kenjutsu requirement? I was thinking a ninjado. Cool. Rayon will be the biggest aide in the squad, Nico Taicho in the entire ANBU. What about you? Primarily, I use dual kodachi, but I have been learning forms with the katana as well. Bit of a jack of all trades, I take it, I guess. More than likely I just need hobbies that don't revolve around the shinobi arts. You could get a girlfriend. My, so forward, Hibi-chan, and we've only just met. Why, I don't even know what you look like out of your mask. First, if you must use an honorific, I will be called Hibiheim. Secondly, I didn't say it'd be me, Gama-chan. Wait. If I can't call you Hibi-chan, then there is no way you'll be calling me Gama-chan. Why not? It fits. Something about you just says Gama-chan. As your senpai, I will have to insist you not call me that, and as your Taicho, I must insist she does. Tora said from behind the pair. Ah, that's mean, Taicho. Naruto says as Hibi and Tora laugh at his predicament. Tsunade-sama, Hiashi-sama is here to see you. Thank you, Shizune, escort him in. Shizune left and promptly returned with Hiashi, who had been dreading this meeting. Times have not been great for the Hyuga clan head for the year or so. The clan has been stagnating. New business ventures have been drying up, going to competing concerns, and if that weren't bad enough, it is starting to filter through the nation that Hiashi does not have the influence with the Godame that he had with the Sandame. This, of course, has angered the elders of his clan and has only increased the pressure upon him. His only saving grace is that these same elders are in no rush to see Hinata take over as clan head, fearing the changes she would instill, but that doesn't mean they can be a perpetual pain in Hiashi's ass. Tsunade-sama, Hiashi says with a polite bow. Thank you for coming, Hiashi. It appears we have some issues to discuss. Yes, one of my clansmen attacked a guest on your estate. How can we remedy this before things escalate? Oh, there won't be any need for that. Naruto explained what happened. Said it was just poor little boy with unresolved feelings. Asked me to just let the issue lie, which I've agreed to. Thank you, Tsunade-sama. Don't. I also issued Naruto an order. If Neji should attack him again, Naruto is to treat him as a threat and respond to any acts of violence with extreme prejudice. Tsunade-sama, you can't be serious. Why can't I? Naruto isn't Neji's punching bag, and I'm not going to let his attachments get him hurt. All of this is moot as long as Neji never attempts to attack him again. I won't stand for this. You're telling me you've ordered my nephew's death and you expect me to be okay with it? Hiashi, look at me. What makes you think I'm concerned about what you will and won't stand for? I've shown you mercy, I expect gratitude. As far as your nephew is concerned, it's my understanding that you're partially the reason he's wound so tightly to begin with. He hates the main branch but can't lash out at you, so he picks weaker targets. Hurt people, Hiashi. I will not be discussing internal clan issues with you, but it strikes me that you've issued this order specifically because it's against the Hyuga clan. Think what you wish, it matters not. So, is this how it's going to be between us, Tsunade-sama? Needlessly antagonistic? How have I antagonized you, Hiashi? How have I harmed you? You've ordered a seasoned ANBU to murder my clansman should he step out of line. I've ordered an honored guest of the Senju to defend himself against a known threat. You make it sound like Neji will, no matter what, attack Naruto again. He may. I've impressed upon him how bad it would be, but he may. I don't think he deserves to have his life ended if he should. Are you serious? I know you don't value Naruto, but that stupid boy tried to turn his heart to mush. You keep this up and I'll execute the little fuckhead myself. Hiashi, don't test my patience. He isn't being charged with anything. Your clan isn't being sanctioned. Nothing has happened, and as long as you keep your clan members under control, nothing will, for now. But what about the next time you have a convenient reason to take action against my clan? Hiashi, can you just say what you want to say? Fine, Hokage-sama. You've never been a fan of my clan, this is well known, but ever since I made Hinata choose, you've all but openly hostile toward me. I know you've taken to the boy, but that doesn't give you the right to try to dictate internal clan matters. How have I tried to interfere in your clan? Give me one specific example. If you can't, stop making things up. And if I happen not to like you because of something you did, actions have consequences for everyone, even the great Hiashi Hyuga. So, you don't even bother to deny it. Deny what? That I don't like you? Sure, not a fan. That's not illegal, Hiashi, and all over that boy. It's absurd. What's absurd is keeping two people who care about each other, who have been nothing but good for each other, away from each other. I have my reasons, not that I need explain myself. Oh yes, I'm aware of your reasons, Hiashi. Can't even bother to form your own opinion, so you base your decision off what you think the Sandame felt, not even checking to see if the man has changed his opinion. A cynical person might assume this was an attempt to rein in an heiress that might be getting a bit uncontrollable, one not so tied to tradition. Start making her make compromises early until you manage to compromise her so nothing has to change. Hiashi looked as if he'd be struck. He couldn't deny that part of his motivation was to make sure Hinata wouldn't uproot too many of the Hyuga traditions, firmly believing that ties to the past is what give a clan substance. He knew he was being unduly cruel when he said Naruto had nothing to offer the clan, and if Minato and Kushina were still alive he'd likely have been run through with either Kushina's katana or those damn chains. But simply keeping Hinata in line wasn't his only motivation. War is on the horizon, Tsunade, he said barely above a whisper. Shocked at how defeated he sounded, Tsunade allowed the breach in decorum. I may be a hard man, some say unbending, but I do love my children. I know how happy those two make each other, but Naruto's burden has made him a marked man and the shinobi world has been at a state of peace for too long. If he manages to survive the Akatsuki threat, what of IWA? Should any senior IWA shinobi ever get a good look at him, they'd likely mobilize a platoon of assassins just at the mere possibility that he is Minato's son. Kumo may do the same. Or they may come after those he cares about. Kumo would think nothing of trying to kidnap Hinata again. I won't tie my daughter to someone who will likely be at the center of the next shinobi war. An upcoming war is mere speculation and Naruto won't be facing Akatsuki alone, nor will he be underprepared. Oh, I've heard. Some estimates have him as a low A-ranked shinobi. Not even 2 full years of dedicated training and he's lapped everyone in his generation. Did you ever think that a legitimate S-rank Jinchuriki, one who achieved the ranking without the aid of his bijou, might be enough of a spark? If that is all, Hokage-sama. Yes, Hiashi, you're dismissed. Tenten's party was taking place on the roof of her parents' weapons supply shop. Since it's a fairly large retail space, there was plenty of room for all the guests to dance and mingle. Some well-placed seals also ensured it would not be too cold. All of the rookies had already arrived before him, Naruto noticed. How he just wanted to go home, but he knew he had to be here for Tenten, so he sucked it up and sought out the birthday girl and sees she's talking with Lee. Happy birthday, Tenten, he says while giving her a quick hug. Thanks, she said, smiling. The 3 shinobi continue conversing until Hinata calls everyone around so Tenten may start opening her gifts. The party was undeniably fun and around midnight everyone starts to clear out. Naruto leaves some shadow clones to clean up the roof while he, Tenten and teammate make their exit from the building. So, Naruto, I notice you didn't get Tenten a gift. You really are a cheap bastard, said Kiba. Every member of the group save Naruto, and Tenten himself tensed at Kiba's barb. He gave me my present earlier, Kiba, and if he hadn't it was not your place to mention it. I can defend myself. Oh, I'm sure he did give it to you earlier, Kiba said with a lecherous grin, making both Tenten and Hinata uncomfortable at the barely hid insinuation. Naruto was not uncomfortable. He was not even angry. There was no need. He understood that there was a jaw in need of breaking. The best kind of problems are the ones with immediate solutions. Before he could turn to Kiba and carry out his newly formed plan, goal of shutting Kiba's mouth, Shino spoke up. I intervened once on your behalf. I felt professional ethics and our burgeoning friendship required as much. However, what I chose to believe as a slip of a brash, loose-lipped but overall decent person was clearly mistaken. You intended to cause harm when you revealed something you had no right to, and while I've never blamed either of you for my broken hand, I had hoped it would forestall future conflict. Not this time, Shino. He needs to learn to watch his fucking mouth, Naruto said, barely restraining his temper. Shino simply raises his hand in an attempt to calm his friend, knowing how quickly things could escalate. Naruto, I don't disagree, but please escort Tenten home while I talk to my teammate. Fine, Shino. If you're free, let's grab some lunch tomorrow. I'll see you there. Waiting for the two to leave, Shino stares at Kiba. You need to grow up, Kiba. Whatever issues you have with Naruto need to be resolved. I have no issues with the dead last. Is it my fault he can't take a joke? Cammy, I didn't know it was such a big secret. Maybe not, but let's not play games. You outed Tenten and Naruto in an attempt to embarrass him in front of me, Hinata said. What's sad is that I already knew. While both were attempting to be discreet, I had noticed a change in how they interacted and deduced that while not fully romantic, their relationship had turned physical. No one needed you to announce it, she said before departing herself. That isn't the way to win her, although you've likely lost any chance of that happening. I don't get it. I don't get why you and she are so drawn to him. Hell, even my mother seems to love that useless shinobi. I don't get it. Who says you need to? I do. I need to know what makes him so special. I want someone to explain it to me. He was always a loser, someone who couldn't even throw a proper punch, and now you all act as if he's heads and shoulders above the rest. Why do you care? Naruto's increase in skill does not prevent your own. I find this illogical. because it wasn't supposed to be like this. It was one thing to always be behind Sasuke, to not be as smart as you or Shikamaru, but to be surpassed by that joke of a ninja is a step too far. He isn't as good as he pretends, and I'll prove. When you meet him tomorrow, tell him I want to spar. No restrictions. Fine, Kiba, I will inform him, said a clearly displeased Shino. What? Concerned he won't accept the challenge? No, I'm concerned because I know he will, Shino says and then leaves via Shunshin. Chapter 13. At the request of Naruto, this is Lunar Shinobi Spar. While killing and maiming are strictly prohibited, the winner is determined by successfully incapacitating your opponent and bringing them back to me. However, if I get a sense things are getting out of hand, I will step in, understood? Said Kakashi. Hi. Both opponents said. Both shinobi walked toward the forest with their companions in tow. Hey Kichi, remember what we talked about? Said Naruto, wearing a midnight blue ensemble with a matching bandana to cover his hair. Instead of his kodachi, he has 2 rattans equipped with earth chakra seals to reinforce the wood sticks. The rattans were Asuma's idea, a way to get used to dual wielding without harming himself or his sparring partner. He enjoyed practicing with the sticks, so he kept it up. Gamakichi is also covered in a midnight blue cloak that hides his orange skin and head. Yeah, I gotcha, bro. You just stay sharp out there and have fun. Naruto can only chuckle in response, remembering when Shino informed him of the challenge. Naruto, he wishes to challenge you to a spar. I heard you, Shino. I'm just amazed how talented Kiba is at making poor choices. I'm guessing you didn't try to talk him out of this. It would have fallen on deaf ears. Kiba is fixated on you, as if every step forward you take causes him to take one back. I think you two need this. Naruto silently considers the offer. He can beat Kiba without much problem. That's not being arrogant, it's just a simple reality. Naruto's skill set, his Doton and Suiton releases along with his Fuin Jutsu allows him to control the terrain. Add his ability with shadow clones and he's a one-man assault squad, lethal at any range, but that'd almost be an issue in itself. Beat him too quickly and Kiba won't be humbled. No, he has to give Kiba an apparent advantage and then strip it away from him. Shino could see Naruto's mind at work. The foxy grin adorning the blonde's face is confirmation enough that Naruto is planning something troublesome. I'll do it, Shino, but on one condition. A lunar spar, in 2 days. Naruto sees Shino quirk his eyebrow, but his friend only nods as he exits the table, piecing together what his friend has in store for his teammate. I'd almost pity Kiba if he had not brought this on himself. I wish I could disagree with you. Of course I'll root for my student, but I think Kiba has bitten off more than he can chew. Kurenai said. Yeah, but this is probably for the best. Naruto might play with him a bit and bruise his ego, but it's better than an outright beating, chimed in Asuma before taking a drag of his cigarette. Troublesome blonde. What Chika? Asked Ino. Given the phase of the moon, there is very little visibility tonight. That would appear to give Kiba a definite advantage, so why would Naruto be the one to request a nighttime spar? If this was the Naruto from the academy, I would just call it poor planning, answered Choji. Yes, but that Naruto is long gone, if he was ever real. It means he either has a way to neutralize Kiba's advantage, or he's saying they wouldn't be enough to improve his chances anyway, countered Shikamaru. Okay, gentlemen, you have 1 hour or until there is a victor. Hajime. And with Kakashi's signal, Naruto and Gamakichi disappear with a burst of speed. As soon as the entry to the forest is out of sight, Naruto and Gamakichi separate. Naruto starts flooding the area with his chakra, making it near impossible to locate him with by non-visual means. After 15 seconds of flooding the forest with his presence, he cuts it off and hides his chakra signature completely. One of the first things Kakashi taught him to do. Naruto's gambit affected Kiba and Akamaru as both failed to pinpoint his specific location. Coming to the conclusion that tracking by smell would do them no good, they duo focus on sound. Hearing movement, both head in that direction. Once they arrive, both attempt to extend their senses to locate any movement but sense nothing. The duo would only have to look up in a tree behind them to see Naruto, perfectly masking his presence until it is time to strike. As fast as he finished the thought, he sees Gamakichi descend upon Akamaru, placing a knockout seal on the Niken. As Kiba turns to defend Akamaru, he is struck in his left knee by one of Naruto's rattan, giving Gamakichi time to abscond with the hound. Kiba barely has time to think as Naruto plants a roundhouse on the distracted Inuzuka's jaw, sending him to the forest floor as Naruto heads to atop the trees once again. If this was going to be the sum total of your challenge, why even bother? Naruto said, his voice projected, not giving away his location. What did you do to Akamaru, bastard? The Inuzuka yelled but received no response. rubbing his jaw and trying to shake off the effects of the kick. Kiba tries, again, to pinpoint where Naruto could be, but had no success until he felt a quick chakra spike. Turning to the direction of the spike, Kiba is met with a cloud of ash. Naruto had performed the fire style, ash pile burning, but did not ignite the ash cloud, instead removing sight and smell from the Inuzuka. Kiba instantly begins to cough due to the unexpected cloud. Attempting to ready himself for an assault, he is instantly struck in the neck, then the heart, followed by the lungs and finished with the liver. Once the final attack is delivered, Naruto returns atop the trees, slashing the carotid artery, stabbing the heart, lungs, or liver. Had I used a bladed weapon, you'd be worse off than just a little pain. That's twice now I could have finished this, and if we were enemies twice now I would have taken your life. Potentially moved on to your teammates and killed them too. All because of you, Kiba. As much as he wants to respond, Kiba is simply in too much pain. The liver shot left him gasping for air, which only made him inhale more of the ash cloud. Retreating to another part of the forest, Kiba hopes to buy himself some time and maybe think of a strategy for Naruto. His hope was for naught, as he soon found himself with a noose of ninja wire around his neck, with Naruto descending from a branch above until the two-leaf knee met in the middle of the air. Kiba, all I would have to do is focus some wind chakra into this wire, and I'd have beheaded you. Trust me, I've done it before, Naruto whispered, recalling a particularly gruesome moment of inspiration. Poor Otoni never saw it coming. Seeing that there wasn't much more to be done, Naruto hits Kiba in the back of his head, knocking him out. He then drops to the ground, catching Kiba as he falls and removing the ninja wire from his neck. He then shunsins to Kakashi so he can call it. Not even 10 minutes, you get bored too easily, stated Kakashi, looking at the heap known as Kiba on the ground and his student scratching the back of his head. You know I'm not one to play with my food. Besides, I could have ended it at 3 different times. Figured the point was proven. Besides, it's getting late and I want to get to bed. As the two continued talking, Kiba began to stir. Looking to see everyone, he realizes he lost. Feeling utterly humiliated, Kiba does the only thing he could think of. He lashes out at Naruto. I thought you wanted to fight like a man, not run and hide like a bitch. You're still the dead last. Couldn't fight me straight up, so you had to play games and cheat shot me. Coward! He all but roared, which earned him a shrug from Naruto. No point in arguing when there is sleep to be had. Yeah, turn and walk away. Maybe that's why Hiashi forbade her from seeing you. Hyugas prefer their women to be with real shinobi, Kiba said with a smirk. Everyone tensed as Naruto stopped moving, his head down and eyes closed. You're going to at least cripple him, yes? I'll even lend some of my chakra, said Kurama. No, I promised Sam I wouldn't hurt him too bad, but I will hurt him, replied Naruto. As the exchange with Kiba was taking place, Asuma and Kurenai hurried over to Kakashi and the pair of Chunin. Kiba, how dare you? You've embarrassed yourself and this team. Apologize right now. I refuse. Nothing I've said is wrong. It's okay, Kurenai-san. I wouldn't want an insincere apology anyway, Naruto said, still with his back turned to Kiba and his head down. Kiba, you requested a shinobi spar and were given just that. Am I to include what you truly wanted was a simple fight? Of course, dope. No hiding, no bitch shit. Just us going at it. You want to have a go at me? Man, I used to think you wanted Hinata. This is so awkward. Sensei, I'm sure you've been in this situation before. How do you handle it? I want to be supportive but not lead him on. Kakashi and Asuma both laugh, which only infuriates Kiba all the more as he begins to move toward Naruto before being stopped by Kurenai. Sensei, if you would referee one final spar, I think I can humor Kiba. And since he took a bit of a beating while I'm still fresh, I'll only use Showdown jutsu. Does this sound fair to everyone? The 3 Jonin look at each other, all recognizing this as a bad idea. Kurenai tries to reason with Kiba. Kiba, you've had your spar and you lost. Just leave it be and move on. Besides, Akamaru is still unconscious. Sensei, I can't. I won't let Naruto look down on me. I'd have to care to look down on you. I'd be more than happy to be indifferent toward you if you knew how to shut up. I thought the humiliation in the forest would humble you, but you clearly need an audience. Screw you. I accept, Kiba says, which causes Naruto to smile. A true smile. Oh, how he loves to unleash his Showdown jutsu. Kakashi has the two separate before signaling for them to begin. Hajime, he says, and the two stay perfectly still. Kiba looks calculating, Naruto looks unconcerned. Having enough of the inaction, Kiba launches forward with a Gotsuga, assuming he's too close for Naruto to dodge. Water style, water formation wall, Naruto whispers as a massive all of water emerges from his mouth, causing Kiba to run into it head first, knocking him out again. Ah damn it, I had a whole thing planned and he's already knocked out. Oh well, I'm going to bed, good night all. Yo, Kichi, let's bounce. He's been knocked out twice, I've got to get him to the hospital. As Kurenai and Shino leave with Kiba in tow, Team 10 also departs, leaving on Kakashi and Asuma. That was embarrassing, said Kakashi, completely. Agreed Asuma. Walking into his room, Naruto notices something wrong. Turning on his light, he sees his bedroom covered in pink. Pink bedsheets, pink pillows. He goes into his closet and sees nothing but women's clothing. He then comes across a note on his desk, also in pink. Hi Naruto-chan, do you like how I redecorated your room? Pretty bitchin', right? Let this be a lesson to you, don't obfuscate with your Nei-chan. Nah, I like Nei-sama. Yes, that'll do. Now, I know you considered yourself something of a prankster in your youth, but if you retaliate I'll make you take a full physical with that old guy with the creepy ghost hands you tried to drown that one time. For a week. Yep, a whole week of some creepy dude fondling your junk. Anyway, tomorrow during breakfast you and we are going to gab like girlfriends. Dress appropriately or there will be consequences. Sincerely, Shizune-sama. You win this round, you psychotic spinster, but there will be payback. Over the final 6 months before Naruto left with Jiraiya, his squad's directive had changed from primarily neutralizing Oto bases to focusing on supports within the Akatsuki network. By focusing on their sources of income, the hope was to either delay them or to make the organization get sloppy and start making mistakes. The information provided by Jiraiya's network, and unbeknownst to most everyone Itachi and Kisame, helped tremendously. Through investigation, what the team discovered is that while the organization has done missions for smaller villages in the past, and even a few for Suna, their primary source for major work is IWA. Tsunade reasoned that IWA may be using the Akatsuki so they don't have to send their best Jonin on high-risk missions while preparing for war, with the added benefit of having the Akatsuki be a distraction from what IWA is planning. Danzo and Hiruzen counseled that it would be a mistake to focus too much on IWA contacts, as it may give away that Konoha knows what Oinoki is planning. Agreeing with logic, Tsunade informed Dragon to only move on a single high-value target within Earth Country but sowed dissent and distrust with other links in Akatsuki's support chain. So, that is what his squad has been doing, more subterfuge than direct combat, though there was plenty of that. Due to the more delicate infiltration missions required, the squad was paired off and Naruto got assigned Hibi. She was good at information retrieval, no denying that, but he was ambivalent about his ANBU partner. He'd have to admit that training with her has been a fun and unique experience, but Hibi is weird. For one, she insists they need a theme song. That in itself is fine, but she also says she deserves top billing. Over her senpai, no less. Everyone knows Gamma puts the asses in the seats. When he pointed out that ain't nobody came to see you Hibi, he had to dodge poison Saban for an hour. Not just because he thought he was the star of the show, which she vigorously denies he is, but also because he called her Hibi when she is to be addressed as Hibiheim. Every time, she was quite insistent on that. She also criticizes his on-the-field performance. Hey, Gamma-chan? Yes, Hibi. She glares at him. Even through the mask he can feel the glare. Heim. You're our ninjutsu specialist, yes? Yes, I am. We were just in a combat situation, yes? The dead bodies would suggestion that, yes. So why don't you ever use any freaking ninjutsu? You always finish things with your kodachi. Maybe a seal of some sort, but no ninjutsu. Do you even have any ninjutsu? I'm starting to wonder. We've yet to be in a situation that required me to use any. I could just fling them about like those, pointing to the fallen rain Nin, amateurs, but I am a refined ninjutsu practitioner, and as such my standards are different. He said and then felt her eyes roll. He felt it. How is an eye roll that powerful, he wondered. Whatever, we're having a spar when we get back to HQ, ninjutsu only. Fine, but when I son you don't complain. I heard you once did a spar restricting yourself to nothing but Suitan. How about we do that? Oh, does Hibiheim want Gamma to get her wet? Naruto asks and is immediately hit in his side. Shut up! She yelled through laughs. Just grab the Raiji no Ken so we can leave. Oh, I'm the senpai here. All in all, the two work incredibly well together, and have yet to fail a mission, and were gaining a reputation within ANBU as quite the fearsome duo. It had taken 4 months to identify that high-valued IWA target, and another month to get adequate information to plan his assassination, which had been assigned to Naruto. While researching the guy, who owned several mines throughout Earth Country, which while profitable were a way so a front for IWA Black Ops, that meant that his security team were actually IWA Jonin, or at the very least high Chunin. By most conventional analysis, he was most vulnerable at his office building, but that was only in a relative sense. He always had 2 guards posted outside his door, with a squad of 8 within the other floors of the building and 4 more posted outside. Naruto was never one for conventional means, and thanks to his gender-changing transformation, he didn't need them. It was almost disappointing how easy it was to lead the target around by his dick. Gamma gained access to his secure compound in a matter of days with just a little flirting. It just goes to show that the best security in the world can't save someone from themselves. As soon as the target and Gamma, hinged as a naive and innocent blonde named Ani, were alone, said target found himself with a sebum coated with a neurotoxin in his neck. He'd have to thank Hibi for that someday. After placing the target's body in a scroll, Gamma created a shadow clone and had it hinge as the blonde while Gamma transformed into his now dead target. Gamma could have escaped, but Hiro Saido, the target's name, however, was the entirety of the mission. If possible, Gamma was to eliminate his guardian detail, which Gamma figured would be easier in the building once it had cleared out for the day. While waiting for that, Gamma managed to copy secure documents. Very little of it regarded the Akatsuki, but there was some information regarding IWA that Commander Dragon and Tsunade-sama might be interested in. Gamma was also able to pilfer some funds from Hiro's secret accounts. It'd take a team of forensic accountants weeks to pull apart where the money ended up, a boring but useful lesson from Danzo-sensei. The end of the business day came, and it was time to put his plan in motion. Hiro called out to his guards, and the 2 immediately entered the office only to be greeted with kunai coming for them. The 2 experienced shinobi easily dodged the projectiles and promptly went to attack, failing to realize the kunai were hinged shadow clones. The oversight cost them, as both had kunai plunged into their brain stem before they could carry out the assault. Naruto had his shadow clones hinge into one of the fallen guards each and sealed the originals. He then made a shallow wound to his side and burst a blood pack over it to make it look more severe. With a nod, one of the clones jumped out the window while the other propped the wounded hero as the final part of the operation began. One Naruto and the guard made it down to another pair of the detail. The clone killed one immediately. "Hiro, what the fuck is going on? We've been betrayed. I've suspected for a while now. That Sasuke told me to look into it, and I just came across the financial proof. Half the detail has been compromised. Nero attempted to kill me in my office and is likely informing his accomplices. They can't let us leave alive, so they'll likely storm the building. We need to weed out the traitors still inside as fast as we can." "Okay, what do you want me to do? Who can we trust?" "None of the outside guard. They were likely meant to be the extraction team. With him gone, that leaves 3 more we have to take care of. They likely have been alerted yet, so can I trust you to handle Kiko and Jean?" "Yes, they should be on the 2nd floor now." "Go, and Godspeed." Outside the building. "Nero, what was that? What's going on?" "Hiro, he's betrayed us. He tried to have me killed. The detail has been compromised. He has at least 4 working with him. We have to storm the building. You know how much sensitive information he has access to. Go get the others. Meet back here. Go, now." Inside the building, Naruto didn't have to extend his senses to tell the IWA drone, what's his name, had finished his mission, while he and his shadow clone had successfully killed 3 more, leaving 5 in total ready to defend the building. They gathered on the 2nd floor. "Hiro, you don't look too good. A mere flesh wound, boy. They are coming to take the building. We don't know if they have additional forces waiting for us, so dragging this out is a bad idea. We need to meet them on the ground floor and end this." They all nodded in agreement. "Why? There's no point to this fight. 4 Jonin, even with an injured person in tow, could evade capture. They wouldn't have had that many more men stationed to buttress the extraction if things went pear-shaped. This is just a failure of shinobi tactics," Naruto thinks as his team makes its way to fend off the traitors. Close quarters makes for crappy conditions for Doton Jutsu, so the rival shinobi decide to all engage in close-quarter combat. Naruto rolled his eyes. They aren't even attempting to make this difficult. He draws 2 kunai and launches them. "Kunai shadow clone jutsu," he said, and the 2 kunai became 10. As soon as they reached the IWA Nin, Naruto flared his chakra and let off a mighty explosion, killing the rivals, including his 2 shadow clones. Using a burst of wind chakra, Naruto clears the debris to make sure all targets have been eliminated. Once confirming this is the case, Naruto summons 10 shadow clones and gives them a nod, subsequently vanishing without a trace. "Boss finally did it. Why are you excited? We already know he can do it. It's still damn cool to see." "Take that, Minato team. Whatever, can we just collapse the damn building already?" High 9 clones said in unison before running through the hand signs for Naruto's first original Doton Jutsu. Earth style, seismic collapse jutsu, they stated while slamming their hands onto the ground. Moments later, an earthquake ripped through the foundation of the building, leaving the supporting structure unstable. The shadow clones disperses just as the building started to collapse in on itself. Getting the memory from his clones, Naruto can only smile at a job well done. 3 days later, Naruto is in the Hokage office with Tsunade, Jiraiya, Danzo, Hiruzen, Kakashi, and Shizune. Tsunade was reading over a report with a slight smile. Chunin Uzumaki, do you know why you've been called here today? No, Hokage-sama, Naruto replies, and is sincere. While he leaves tomorrow, he didn't think he had any official business left before his departure. As I'm sure you've been told, there are no training wheels in the ANBU. Everything is a trial by fire, including the Jonin exam. To become a Jonin in the ANBU, the agent must successfully complete an S-ranked mission alone, flawlessly, which he did. It is my great honor to bestow upon you the rank of Jonin, Naruto Uzumaki. May you continue to serve with honor. Tsunade said as she gave Naruto a Jonin vest. Thank you, Hokage-sama, Naruto said, with a face-splitting grin. After receiving congratulations from all in the office, Naruto left to prepare for his departure and promotion, dinner later tonight wearing his Jonin vest. In IWA, I've had the nation's best forensic accounts pull apart the transfers. Tell me, why did money from my Black Ops front make its way into shell companies that can be traced back to Rain? I don't know, Sasuke-sama. We've been being hit pretty hard. Someone is setting us up. Maybe, Daidarakun, maybe? Or your leader is preparing to turn on IWA. All I know is what I've told you. He is pretty tight-lipped about his ultimate goal. But we will start moving in a year's time, hard and fast. You really should pull Han and Rashi back to the village. They need the protection. They will be fine. You just keep yourself safe so you can come back home when this is all over and take this accursed hat from me. All in due time, Oinoki-sama. Besides, I'd rarely have time for my art if I were a Kage-an. In Suna, we'll be moving in a year. Gaara will be the first we target. Will he be ready? Don't worry about Gaara. Even if he should fall, I have a way to get him back. How are you? You look tired. I look like a 14-year-old, Chiyo-bachan, but I am tired. Being a rogue nin is exhausting, and I really don't want to harm another Kazekage. You understand why that had to be done, don't you? Yes, but apparently Raza was even worse. I just want to be done with this. I know, Sasori-kun, I know. The day has finally come for Naruto to depart for his training with Jiraiya. He had already said his goodbyes to his friends, senseis, and ANBU squad, so now it's just Jiraiya and Tsunade. Naruto noticed Tsunade looked nervous about something, and was concerned as he's never seen her nervous about anything. Tsunade-sama, are you okay? Yes, I'm fine. Here I have something for you to read while away with the toads. Just know, no matter what you decide, nothing will change, okay? Sure. Okay, that's enough of the sappy stuff. Let's get out of here. Shut up, Jiraiya. Tsunade yells as she cockbacks her fist. Please don't break Jiraiya. It's hard enough getting the pervert to focus on training. A concussion will just make it impossible. Fine. Well, have a good trip and stay safe. I will, thanks, Naruto said as he gives Tsunade a hug. Jiraiya summons Fukasaku to request they be reverse summoned, and moments later Naruto finds himself in the land of the toads. 1 year, Naruto thinks to himself. While he has grown strong, he knows he isn't at the level of the Akatsuki. Not yet, but with the tasks left to him by Danzo and Hiruzen paired with the training from Jiraiya and the toads, Naruto is confident he'll get there. Chapter 14. Two figures slowly make their way toward the gates of Konoha. One, a tall, middle-aged man with long, spiky silver hair. The other, about a head shorter, dressed in all black with spiky blonde hair, walked beside him. We could have just flashed here, you know, the blonde said in a huff. Then we wouldn't have gotten to enjoy all this natural beauty. Besides, what's the rush? You're about to be knee-deep in missions. Enjoy this last bit of freedom. The older man responded. I enjoyed the scenery enough. I'm not an old. Besides, I'd like to see everyone again, unless you want me to tell Tsunade you delayed us to look at some trees. The blonde retorted. Paling at the thought, the older man decides to hurry along to the checkpoint, not wanting to anger Tsunade in the slightest. Names and reason for 6. Oh, it's you. Welcome back, Jiraiya-sama, Naruto-sama, said the guard. Naruto-sama? Naruto asks while quirking an eyebrow. Naruto will do just fine. Sure, Naruto, no problem. Hokage-sama is expecting you both and left instructs to go straight there, no delays. Said if you stopped for ramen she'd make a law that they could only sell you salads. What? I'd raise an army in revolt. I'd cast off the yoke of tyranny with like-minded people that understand the importance of the noodle and the broth. Naruto said, shaking his fist. You're the most selectively stupid person I've ever met. said Jiraiya through chuckles. No one threatens the ramen, sensei. Anyway, let's go check in before she makes good on that threat. Naruto then places his hand on Jiraiya's shoulder and both vanish without a trace. The duo appear in Tsunade's office, making not a sound, and see her hard at work. Both stand there waiting for her to notice. After a few seconds an ANBU guard coughs to alert her. Both Naruto and Jiraiya barely manage to duck the paperweight tossed at impossible speeds, and it embeds itself into the wall behind them. Damn it, Tsunade, that could have hurt. Good, what have I told you about sneaking up on me, Jiraiya? Not to. Damn right. And what about you? Trying to give me a heart attack? Sensei told me to do it. I tried to talk him out of it, but he said I either do it, or he'd use me as a character in one of his books. Did he now? Tsunade said with a tick mark. Jiraiya, has one too not believing Naruto just lied to save himself. He'd be impressed if Naruto had done this to someone else. Jiraiya, after the briefing we need to talk. Shit, I'm going to get you back, Gaki. Her annoyance forgotten, she rushes over and embraces Naruto in a bone-crushing hug. Kacchan can't breathe. He wheezed. Tsunade releases him, blushing a little at the new name. She had grown increasingly fond of the blonde but was anxious when she proposed formally adopting him, so anxious she had to do so in a letter. She was beyond shocked when she received the documents signed 3 days later. For Naruto, he was beyond stunned. He had come to cherish the makeshift family he had with Tsunade and Shizune, but was conflicted about the adoption. Accepting Tsunade doesn't mean you're rejecting me, you know? Said Kushina. I know, it's just, I don't want you to be forgotten. It's bad enough that no one speaks of how you were instrumental in sealing Kurama. Sensitive subject. I know. Sorry, Kurama, but still, I just don't want to erase you. You wouldn't be Sochi. I can't be there for you like Tsunade can, and I know you've come to love her, but that doesn't diminish what you feel for me. Don't do this for my sake. Embrace all the family you can. That'll make me happy. And with her reassurance, Naruto sent Gamakichi with the papers and became Naruto Uzumaki Senju. While the trio were getting caught up, there was a knock on the door. Gaining permission, Shizune walks in with Sakura. Sakura, a name Naruto hasn't much thought about since that night in his apartment. He hadn't seen her since then, not even in the outings with fellow rookies, and up until now he never even considered it odd. Did he just delete her from his memory along with anything related to Team 7, Naruto wonders. So deep in thought he almost missed Shizune speaking to him. You've grown, shorty. Taller than you, spinster Nichin. Shizune immediately activates her chakra scalpels and Naruto forms a Rasengan. You remember what happened the last time you tried that, Neishan? Yeah, you ran to Tsunade and jumped into her arms like a bitch. Tactical retreat, important for a shinobi to know. Don't worry, I'll teach you the tricks of the trade. Stick with me and you can stop shaming Kacchan. Enough, you two. Naruto, you can go, but be here early tomorrow for your assessment. Okay. Sensei. Sakura. Old maid. Naruto says in goodbye with a grin, Shizune narrowly missing with a swipe of her chakra scalpel as he vanishes. When did he learn the Haraishin? Shizune asks in amazement. Apparently before he left, and unless you want a 20-minute rant, just don't bother to ask him about it. Why not? Asked by the women in the office. Jiraiya sighs before answers. You know the kid had major issues with his father, right? Sakura and Tsunade go wide-eyed for different reasons. Seeing this, Jiraiya continues, Naruto doesn't care. He's said as much. If people know, they know, and trust me, any assassin IWA or Kumo-sen would meet a swift end. Kid was good when he left, he's a monster now. Anyway, apparently he's been working on the Haraishin since the start of his 3-year training period. Had Minato's version down fast enough and had the conditioning for it, but felt a shinobi technique known for being flashy was incomplete, no matter how effective, so he spent the next year creating a shiki that not only removes the flash but suppresses any chakra spike. Kid went on and on about Minato team needing his son to complete all his work. So please, just leave it be. Okay, before we continue, Sakura, you're dismissed. Waiting for the pinkette to leave, Tsunade begins. I was thinking of having Kakashi do his assessment. Figured that'd be a good test of his abilities. No, it wouldn't. If he were serious, he'd kill Kakashi, and I'm not sure if he'd require Sage Mode to do it. He's a Toad Sage? No, he has access to Senjutsu, but it's different from what the Toads taught me because he mixes it with Biju Chakra. Are there any negative affects? Asked Tsunade. No, and it's really similar to how I do it with Ma and Pa. Since he's not the one channeling the nature chakra, the duration and activation issues are removed. So, how is he? Better. He only talks to me so much, but he seems to have resolved, to some degree, whatever was bothering him. Feeling relieved by Jiraiya's assurance, Tsunade continues, so who should do his assessment? Sensei and Danzo should be an adequate test. I'll tell him to leave all of his S-rank jutsu out of it. All? Tsunade and Shizune ask. Yeah, he has 5, I think. More or less. So, is he ready? Yes. On top of the Hokage monument, Naruto sits atop his father's head, appreciating a view he hasn't seen in a year, awaiting for the presents he sensed to arrive. It's good to see you, Naruto. Same here. Congrats on the promotion. I know you deserved it. I appreciate that. How long have you been back? Just got back, actually. Checked in with Tsunade and came here. And how are you? Your letters were distressing, my friend. I didn't think they were that bad, Shino. But you've never been one to miss subtext, so I'll defer to your judgment on the issue. Hey Shino, I hope all is well. I recently had a breakthrough with my training. Learning senjutsu is unlike anything I've ever felt. It was like a new form of consciousness, a form of pure power, and I am left wondering if I will only waste it. Shinobi kill, steal, and everything else. I've accepted this reality, but I used to dream of more. I haven't even considered the nature of shinobi as a force of good since I've been training for these upcoming trials, and now that I've reached this threshold I feel adrift. I've become an extremely efficient killer and a powerful combatant, but am I no more? I can pull water out the atmosphere, but do I use it to irrigate land? No, I use it to attack. I can create a 20-foot wall of rock and I use it only to defend myself? Is this the pinnacle of chakra or my abilities with it? I can't heal like Tsunade. My seals are mostly combat-oriented, and at the moment I was most connected with nature. I felt utterly disconnected from life. Death can't be my only legacy, but I fear I may not have a choice. And Uzumaki, Naruto, while I understand your position, I find myself at a loss at how to advise you. I have dedicated myself to logic as a means of problem solving, and while logic is not divorced from concerns of morality, it can often become murky when trying to decide what one should do when the action is revolutionary in nature. I've accepted the way of shinobi, not as perfect but in such a way I can be logically consistent in my actions and my feelings. I see your struggle and grow concerned and anticipatory in equal measure if, and when you resolve this conundrum. The answer may very well lead you to a path you abandoned so many years ago, the desire to be Hokage. To truly change the way of the shinobi would require you to be an excellent one that is acknowledged by all. As you know, the one who is acknowledged by all is the one who will become Hokage, and while becoming Hokage may not be the answer, it may be the final destination of the path you walk. Whatever you decide, you will not face your struggles alone. At least take peace in that. Aburaim. And still you avoid the answer. Your letters increasingly had signs of depression until you left for your walkabout, so, how do you feel? I think I'm at peace with it all, at least for now. But enough about me, how are you? The two friends would spend the afternoon catching up for parting ways. As Naruto was watching throughout the village, he sees an all too familiar sight. Quickening his pace while remaining unnoticed, he walks up behind his target and wraps her in a giant hug. Hi Tenchan, he says before the kunoichi had a chance to react. Putting her down, the annoyed girl takes a swing at her friend, which he dodges right into a hug. Hi stupid. Maybe don't sneak up on me next time. Tenten says. While Naruto-kun, it's great to see your flames of youth still burning brightly. Thank you, Lee. Uzumaki, sighing. Hey Neji-chan. How's it going? Oh, it goes well. I'd do better if you wouldn't accost my girlfriend. Looking at Neji and back at Tenten, seeing her nod, he smiles at his friend. So, finally found your courage? Excellent. Well, I'm off. You crazy kids stay out of trouble. Naruto said before narrowing his eyes at Neji. Oh, and Neji, if you hurt her I'll disappear you and everyone will know, but they won't be able to prove a thing. See ya, he finishes with a smile before disappearing without a trace. Did he just teleport / did he mean that? Lee and Neji ask. Yes to both. I wouldn't worry since you aren't going to hurt me, right? Tenten said with an overly sweet smile. Right. Neji says as Tenten heads off. If I may be unyouthful, you're so totally fucked. I am aware, Lee. Moments after leaving, Team 10 found Naruto out of the Hyuga compound. He finds it a little distressing that the most secure compound in the village is so easily infiltrated. Why, if he wanted to, he could visit a certain Heim in the dead of night, and who knows what would happen. Oh, the possibilities. When did I become a pervert? He thinks to himself as he refocuses on the task at hand. Over the wall, avoid a few guards here and there, move in silence, and eventually he finds himself at his destination. Where's Gamakichi? Really? No, hi. No, when did you get back? Just where's Kichi? I think I'm hurt that you like my personal summons more than me, and I think the feeling's mutual. Stop being a baby, we've just had a lot of time to talk since he delivered your messages to me. Also, He can actually pull off orange. I get no respect. When did you turn on me, Hanabi? Naruto said through fake tears. You are so dramatic, you know that, right? She says before giving him a hug. So, how have things been? Tense. The clan's business affairs and relationships have been stagnating for a few years now, and while there are suspicions, there is little in the way of proof. The frustrations have caused some main branch members to take it out on the cadet branch, so tensions are high on that front. And then there is Winnie-sama. What's wrong with Hinata? Naruto tried to keep his voice steady but failed miserably, causing Hanabi to smirk. What's wrong with Hinata depends on perspective. About 2 months after you left, she had a spar with Neji. Not only nearly drowned him with Showdown jutsu but tried to run him through with her ninjato. When the elders started to complain, she replied, "If you don't like it, then do something about it." One of the elders did, and got his arms broken for his trouble. Now, she does pretty much what she wants. Outside of Tusama for official business or me, very few main branch members approach her. They're all afraid. Naruto can't help but laugh Hanabi's response. The two visit for a little longer before Naruto excuses himself as to not get caught. Besides, he has one final stop before he heads home for the night, but before he does, "Here, take this," Naruto said, handing Hanabi a tri-pronged kunai. "If you ever need me for anything, just channel some chakra into the kunai and toss it down. I'll be here as soon as I can." "Thank you, Naruto." "No problem, Hanabi-chan." Flashing to a marker he left outside the Hyuga compound, Naruto makes his way to the Inuzuka compound, hoping to not run into Kiba. He proved to be unlucky today. "Why are you here, Dobe? Must we do this every time, Akila?" "You know that's not my name." "Whatever, Kira." "Is your mom home?" "No, go away." "What is your problem with me?" "Oh, where to start? How about the preferential treatment you get?" "I'd laugh at you if this weren't so sad." "Deny it all you want, but you've gotten preferential treatment. Training by a Hokage and a Sannin, adopted by another Sannin, training by the strongest Jonin in the village. You deserved none of it, and if anyone else had been given that, they'd be just as ahead as you are now." "Oh, poor Kiba doesn't feel special." "I really don't want to hear anything about preferential treatment from a clan ninja, especially the child of a clan head. I was intentionally stunted in my training until the Chunin finals." "That's right, I've had a little under 4 years of real shinobi training while you've had nearly a decade. If I'm further ahead, some of that can be placed with my teachers, the rest is just the difference between us. Recall, I beat you in the prelims with almost no training. Just guts. Also, what are you going to learn from the Sandaime? I'm a ninjutsu specialist, the best since him. Do you even know your elemental affinity? No, then we'll drop that. Besides, even if I didn't earn this preferential treatment, I deserve it for services rendered. Kiba, I'm the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi. The 4th Hokage, who is my father by the way, sealed it inside of me. I've been protecting ingrates like you since the day of my birth. Hated and isolated for my involuntary service, so I think would make me do for some benefit to balance out the misery. Why, that's better than I expected. I assumed you'd accuse me of being the Kyuubi or something equally moronic. Whatever, let's say I believe you are this Jinchu, whatever, and the son of the 4th Hokage. It just makes me dislike you even more. Maybe it came late, but you were still given an easier path. You became a Chunin and a Jonin before any of us in our graduating class when you did the worst. So what, to make up for your crappy life and to pay back the 4th, they give you undeserved promotions and advantages. You do remember how I kicked your ass, right? Twice in one night. You, a tracker, couldn't handle me in the forest. How can you say my promotions are undeserved when you don't know how I got them and I've demonstrated the ability to handle you? You just don't. You have Shino and Hinata snowed, but I know the truth. You got lucky a few times, but you don't deserve he. Wow, so this is about a girl I can't even be with. You're so very sad, Kiba. Jealous over a non-existent relationship. It doesn't matter, because of you our team broke up. Because of you Hinata won't even speak to me and never noticed that I'm better for her. I'm betting Hiashi would agree with me. Hinata leaving the team likely had very little to do with you. Her not speaking to you, however, is entirely because of you. You tried to hurt her and embarrass Tenten by outing us, and since you're dumb you think no one else would notice your malicious intent. We all did, and you couldn't even be a man and own it. Whatever, Kiba. I'm done, but one last thing, I'm a censor, dumbass. I know your mom is home. My asking was me being polite, so if you'll excuse me, Naruto says as he walks past Kiba to knock on the door. Trying not to lose his temper in front of his mother, Kiba storms off. Naruto proceeds to visit Sam, telling her about his time away from the village. The next morning finds Naruto arriving to Training Ground 29 with the Sannin, the Sandaime, Danzo and Kakashi waiting. Greeting everyone, he takes his place. Okay, the rules are anything goes outside of crippling attacks and S-rank ninjutsu. Begin! Jiraiya says, and all three participants blur through hand signs. The battle of masters versus student had begun. Chapter 15. Earth Style. Earth Dragon Missiles. Wind Style. Vacuum Wave. They are starting off strong, Naruto thinks, as he sees his two senseis' jutsu coming for him. No holding back, I suppose? Earth Style. Mud Flow Wave. As Naruto activates his jutsu, a massive wave of mud emerges, circling away from the attacks aimed at him. Naruto uses chakra to ride the way and get to the side of his two opponents with impressive speed. Seeing he has caught them by surprise, he blurs through more hand seals. Earth Style. Mud Cannon, and two massive mud balls shoot from the wave. Instead of dodging, Hiruzen creates an Earth-style mud wall that is just strong enough to endure the assault. Releasing his mud wave, Naruto jumps back, preparing for an attack. He didn't have to wait long as Danzo appeared atop Hiruzen's wall, having already completed his hand seals. Wind Style. Vacuum Serial Waves. Naruto managed to dodge the attack with a shunshin back to his starting position, allowing the attack to cause damage to the training grounds instead. Seeing Danzo has returned by Hiruzen, Naruto understands he's going to have to separate them to have a chance. Kunai Shadow Clone Jutsu. Naruto shouts as the kunai spread around Hiruzen and Danzo, but before the two can react, Naruto had already activated his seal, Uzumaki Style, Bringer of Darkness seal, and instantly both elders are encased in unrelenting blackness. Hiruzen team, I don't know how, but this is your fault, Danzo thinks while remaining calm for the potential attack. It is only due to years of experience that he was able to dodge the oncoming water dragon, not realizing it was Naruto's plan. As soon as Danzo landed, he found a new barrier erected around him with three, he assumes, shadow clones maintaining it. As soon as the Genjutsu seal was activated, Hiruzen went underground using the Earth Style underground projection fish, but as he emerged he immediately had to dodge a strike from Naruto's Rattan. Having no time to summon King Enma, Hiruzen retrieves two kunai and engages his surrogate grandson in close quarters combat. Seeing his opening, he throws one of the kunai, narrowly missing Naruto, but was right on target as the kunai dispelled one of the shadow clones, dropping the barrier. Before the other clones could react, they were dispelled by Danzo. Realizing his back is compromised, Naruto disengages and uses a shunshin to return to his starting position. Returning to his partner, Danzo sees he is the fresher of the two. Any plans, team? He asks. No, second best, but we need to think of something. A war of attrition favors him, and he's gotten his chakra control problem down. We can't just fling jutsu at him all day. TSK, damn Uzumaki. Water release. Exploding water shock wave, Naruto says, followed by an obscene amount of water rushing from his mouth, aimed at crushing Hiruzen and Danzo. Hiruzen erects another mud wall which leaves them surrounded by water. The two have little time to rest as multiple water-style water fang bullets speed toward them from the newly formed lake, crumbling the mud wall. So distracted by the attacks they didn't notice Naruto had created a shadow clone and both had just completed their respective hand seals. Water Style. Explosive bite of the water dragon, the original and the clone shout as two massive water dragons hurl themselves toward Hiruzen and Danzo, exploding on contact. Naruto, being a sensor, knows the two used a last-second replacement jutsu, but he decides to wait for their next move. In the nearby forest, Hiruzen and Danzo marvel at the power of their shared apprentice. Initially, it seems young Naruto wishes to taunt us with our own sensei's jutsu. It would appear so. I suggest we take the gloves off, if for no other reason than pride. It's still weird hearing you talk like that, but I agree. I won't let a teenager show me up. Earth Style. Earth Dragon Jutsu. Fire Style. Dragon Flame Bullet. Wind Style. Pressure Damage. Naruto sensed the massive chakra spikes before he saw the oncoming jutsu. Wasting no time, he and his clone converted the pre-existing water into a defense. Water Style. Water Formation Wall. When the collective jutsu met, the wall absorbed most of the attack, but there was a minor explosion that threw both Naruto's back, dispelling the clone. They said no S-rank jutsu. But you wanna play rough? Okay. Say hello to my little friend. Blurring through one set of hand seals, Naruto stops for a moment, and feels the pressure in his tenketsu. Once stable, he continues with a second set. Merging the Wind Style, Great Vacuum Sphere and the Fire Style, Dragon Flame Bullet, Naruto created the Sandaime Style, Vacuum Bomb. Shit. That goddamn fucking idiot. I told him not to use this technique. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill that kid of yours, Tsunade. Seeing Jiraiya freak out has those in observation confused, until they see and feel it. An explosion generating white-hot flames, burning the nearby forest instantly, with flames greedily looking for more and more fuel to feed it. Water Style. Great exploding water shock wave, they hear Naruto say as a mass of water puts the massive fire out. Instinctively ducking, Naruto sees an irate Jiraiya behind him. What the hell? He says between pants. What the hell? I should Rasengan you into oblivion. You overdid it, Naruto. They started it. They broke the rules first, so if Gigi wanted to play the combination jutsu game, I'll play it. Seeing things are about to escalate, Hiruzen and Danzo step it. Jiraiya, he's right. We escalated things. Turning to Naruto, Hiruzen continues, Naruto, you must explain that jutsu. Cool, right, Gigi? Well, thinking about it like this, how are we able to have fire chakra? Our chakra doesn't contain oxygen, and yet we know we can produce fire nature chakra. Thinking along those lines, the chakra is really fire potential. I worked really hard to refine my fire nature chakra and condensed it in a vacuum sphere, denying it what it needs to be fire. Think, all that potential being released not in a stream but at once. It'd seek out anything to realize its potential, and you end up with my vacuum bomb. Impressive, Naruto-kun, but that's going to be labeled a kinjutsu, said Tsunade. Why? There's no risk to the user, and most people wouldn't have the wind manipulation skills to even attempt it. That's a weapon of mass destruction, and someone may try to learn the technique, have shoddy control, and blow themselves up. But the vacuum bomb is the key, Kaa-chan. It's the source of my greatest combat discovery. Even Pervy Sage doesn't know because he's dumb and wouldn't get it. What are you talking about? Asked Tsunade. Gigi was so close. If he had my ability with Kage Bunshin, he would have cracked it years ago. Don't you see? Most elemental Kekii Genkai and Kekii Toda aren't. Kaa-chan, the Kekii Genkai is the ability to natural mix elemental chakra in your tenketsu. It's hard, but it can be learned. I had 200 clones, every day mixing various ratios of elemental chakra after I had mastered Gigi's process and Sage mode. I learned that if the release didn't require Yang or Yin release added to it, then, like Mokuton, then they can be trained. Kaa-chan, people will no longer have to breed or steal bloodlines. Naruto, I'd like to believe you, but this goes against everything we understand about Kekii Genkai. You don't have to believe me, watch. Shadow Clone Jutsu, he said, creating 5 shadow clones, and the others watched patiently. Then it happened. Ice style, certain ice killing spears. Storm style, laser circus. Crystal style, growing crystal thorns. Boil release, skilled mist jutsu. Lava release, quicklime jutsu. After the demonstration, each clone dispelled, leaving Naruto with an openly shocked audience, even Danzo. That's impossible, Kakashi said. If I hadn't seen it, I'd agree with you, said Jiraiya. Turning to Naruto, how did you hide this from me, and how did you learn those jutsu? Kurama has an eidetic memory, so seeing the jutsu performed gave me a template to work from. Why do you think I asked for those spars from Mei and Darui? Orochimaru or Kabuto kept detailed notes about their Shodown user, and I saw Haki use that technique in Nami. As for how I kept it a secret, I had my clones practice at night. It still isn't combat ready. It takes too long to mix the chakra natures to be viable for anyone else, and I'd prefer to not relay on my clones. It'd essentially leave my discovery unsuitable for anyone else but me. The next thing Naruto knew, he was engulfed in a hug. You're a genius, kiddo. This has the potential to change so much. This is indeed beyond impressive, Naruto-kun. I would love to help you refine it. Thanks, Gigi, I need it. I can do the chakra nature mixture, but creating or recreating jutsu is next to impossible without thorough knowledge of what hand seals do to mold chakra. Ah, yes. Well, come by the compound, we have so much to discuss. To think, I've lived this long and got to see something new. You never cease to amaze, Naruto-kun. Getting embarrassed by the praise, he scratches the back of his head and thanks Hiruzen. All were taken by surprise when they heard what started as a chuckle before soon blooming into full-blown laughter. Danzo-sensei, are you okay? I'm fine, ha 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 ha, Naruto. It's just, ha 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 ha. In under 4 years you've taken the field of ninjutsu further than the god of shinobi has in the last 30. 4 years. Seeing Naruto was about to interrupt, he cuts him off. I don't care about your use of shadow clones. Yes, it allows you to do a lot, but you still needed the insight. Naruto, no one thought this was possible. At most, people pondered seals to perform this jutsu, and that's because we were all focused on the wrong thing. When you start your book, I'll be more than happy to help. My book? I'm not writing a book. Yes, you are. Everyone here, save Kakashi, has written a book about their area of specialty, and you've broken ground in the area of ninjutsu. You need to share your knowledge. It's your duty as a Konoha shinobi, and with your shadow clones it won't take that long. Looking at everyone, but Kakashi, nodding, he realizes he's lost this battle. Fine, I'll write the dang book. Good, now that this is settled, Naruto, I'll be giving you the next few days off as I decide on your placement," said Tsunade. "I'm not going to be with Kakashi-sensei? Naruto, you may be the most powerful Jounin we have. Usually it'd be highly irregular to send you with Kakashi. That'd be like having Jiraiya and I running missions. Extremely overqualified. However, since I am putting a strike team together for the Akatsuki, you likely will be paired with Kakashi and 2 others. I haven't decided who just yet." "Okay, well, I'm off," Naruto says before flashing away. "I need a drink," Kakashi says before disappearing in a swirl of leaves. "Jiraiya, we clearly need to talk more about the last 6 months of his training trip. Meet me in my office in an hour," she said as the rest vacated the training grounds. "Wait, Tsunade, how are we going to explain all of this?" He points to the ruined training grounds and the ice and crystal jutsu left over. To which Tsunade just shrugs and continues to leave. "I don't explain things to people. If I tell them to ignore it, they will." After flashing away from the training grounds, Naruto made his way to the market district, hoping he could find who he was looking for. After a short trek, he entered the Yamanaka flower shop and smiled that his luck won out. "Hey, Ino." "Hey, Naruto, when did you get back?" "Just yesterday." "Cool. So, what can I do for you today?" "I was actually wanting to catch up with Asuma-sensei. I figured if you were here, not only could I stop by and say hi, but you'd likely know how I could reach him if he's not on a mission." "You're just in luck. We were meeting over to Kurenai's for dinner. Those 2 got engaged while you were away and she's pregnant. Well, go smokestack. If you guys had plans, I can just talk to him later." "No, don't be silly, it's informal, just our 2 teams. Hinata is going to be there." "Ino, I'm just saying." "Troublesome." "Shut up, Naruto. I get enough of that from Shika," she said as they both laugh. "Well, what time was dinner?" 8. "Okay, I can meet you back here and we go over together? Also, if you wouldn't mind picking out a flower arrangement for me, I'd appreciate it." "Yeah, that's fine." "Wait, I thought you garden. Why would you need my help?" "Because I know how to make things grow. I don't know about the language of flowers. Just my luck, I expressed my undying love to Kurenai, and she swoons because I've been upgraded from cute to smoking hottie. Then Asuma will want to fight me. Kurenai will take this as a duel for her favor. I'll beat Asuma because I'm just that good, and Kurenai will be torn between her loyalty to Asuma and the possibilities of being with a superior male. Soon tales of our duel will be spread throughout the village, with the women finding it utterly romantic and the men becoming possessive and distrustful, to the point of wanting to attack me. The women of the village will defend me as the avatar of true romantic love I am, and we'll have a gendered civil war. Somewhere in Kumo, a shinobi breaks out in tears as he felt proof of a platonic soulmate. "You're an idiot, you realize this, yes?" "I've been told, but seeing as how I outrank you, I can't be that much of an idiot, now can I?" "Yeah, you think on that and I'll be back later." "Bye, Ino," Naruto said before vanishing right in front of her. Meanwhile, back in the Hokage's office. "He really doesn't trust you, I see. I honestly don't get it. He's seemingly forgiven Sarutobi, doesn't seem to resent the villagers anymore, but Minato and I are held in contempt," Jiraiya said, sagging in his chair. "Every time I attempt to build a bridge, I just screw up. He'll learn from me, but he doesn't see me as family." "I thought things were improving. What happened?" Fukasaku said there was some anger Naruto was holding on to that was affecting his senjutsu training. He needed to deal with it to progress. "So, he cooks up this plan. I ditch Naruto for a week, make him think I'm up to my old habits, and then blows up at me. Gets it all out like he did in the end when we got you." Seeing her nod, he continues, "Well, I did manage to piss him off. By a lot, but not because I left, but because he saw through our little manipulation. Asked why can't I ever be direct? Why can't I ever tell someone no when they plan to screw with him? Then he says that Minato and I always think we're right and are always so sure we are regardless of the damage done. Of course that confused me until he explained that both Minato and Kushina left a chakra imprint in his seal, one he's managed to sustain and has had access to them since you returned to the village. Apparently, they have access to his memories, and even with everything he's been through, Minato holds steadfast that he did the right thing. It infuriates the kid, not because he disagrees but the disregard of the harm done to him. Like me and the prophecy," Jiraiya Tsunade says softly. "While they have disagreed about Naruto in the past, she knows he cares about him, and is sad he has such a difficult time showing it. I can try to talk to him for you." "I wouldn't. He isn't wrong to feel that way. I left him for over a decade, never made contact, and didn't try. He wasn't asking for the world, still isn't. I'll figure out a way to make it up to him, eventually. It's weird seeing you so serious, pervy sage." Both turned to see Naruto sitting by the window. "Also, I didn't tell you because I wanted to surprise you. All my sensei in one spot, seeing the culmination of their time with me. I had already forgiven you about all that other stuff. You aren't as rigid as the yellow team. Tsunade and Naruto see Jiraiya flash a genuine smile at his words. What are you doing here? I had some plans tonight. Wanted to make sure it didn't interfere with anything you may have wanted to do. Ah, such a considerate son you have, Tsunade. Rolling her eyes, Tsunade answers Naruto, no, nothing planned. Have fun, but can you tell me why you never mentioned being able to talk to your parents? Because I wanted something for me. I feel like much of my life is public access and has been since I was born. I just wanted something that was meant for only me, you know? Understandable. Okay, get out of here, both of you. I have actual work to do. Unless you want to save your poor mother and become Hokage. Ha! No, too restrictive for me. I need to be free like the wind. I recall you being quite free in Suna. Jiraiya deftly manages to dodge the kunai tossed at him, but before he can respond, Naruto vanishes, without a trace. What was that about? Oh, just him and the Kazekage's sister had a fling while we were in Suna. I might have to hand over my title. The gallant Naruto does have a nice ring to it. You corrupt my son and I'll pound your ass. So kinky, Tsunade. He said with a chuckle. That's not what I meant, she said, fighting back a blush. It is hours later that we find Ino and Naruto outside the home of Kurenai and Asuma. Welcome. Hey Naruto. Kakashi said you were back. I think? He was pretty hammered. Hey, Asuma-sensei. Yeah, I think my assessment broke his brain, Naruto said as Ino and he entered the house. Hi Kurenai-sensei. Hey guys, Ino greets everyone. Hello, Kurenai-sensei. Naruto greets politely while handing over the bouquet. And congratulations. Thank you, Naruto. I'll put these in vase immediately. Please come in and make yourselves comfortable. The dinner was muted but amiable as the members of Team 10 and 8 discussed the goings-on. Naruto told them briefly of his travels, to the interest of everyone save Kiba. Soon the night was drawing to a close with most everyone departing. Naruto? Yes, Kurenai-sensei? I just wanted to apologize again. Now that I have a child on the way, I sometimes think what would happen if he or she were to be put in your position and… Please stop. I understand and I truly have forgiven you. I'm not one to hold a grudge. Thank you for hosting me. Is there anything I can help with? No, Asuma will take care of it. I will? Yes, unless you find the couch comfortable. I kinda do actually, he replied until he saw her look at him with a stern gaze. Okay. No, shorty, I've got everything covered. I'm one of the tallest of our graduating class now, but not as tall as me. I guess I'll have to console myself with being the superior ninja then. Anytime you want to spar, Gaki. Sure, but talk to Gigi first, you might change your mind. As he walks out to the front porch, Naruto sees a familiar crop of midnight blue hair staring into the night sky. What has you so captivated, Hinata-sama? He says while approaching. Oh, just enjoying the night, really, Uzumaki-kun. It is a nice night, but won't Hiashi worry if you're out too late? He may, but it is of no concern to me. I'm a big girl now. I've noticed. He mutters. What was that? She asks, smiling faintly. Oh, nothing. You didn't really share much over dinner. How are you? I'm surprised my sister hadn't already filled you in. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, so are there a lot of orange, talking toads in the world? Gamakichi might be pretty good at stealth, but I'm better, and I've seen him talking to Hanabi a few times. Yeah, those two are friends. Don't know how it happened, but they are. So, that's the story you're going with? She said, turning toward Naruto, an action he mirrors. What exactly are you accusing me of, Hinata-sama? Nothing untoward, I hope. Certainly not. I'm just wondering if you're keeping tabs on me. And why would I do such a thing? He said, getting closer to her. I can think of a reason or two, but it'd be mere speculation. However, if you wanted to keep an eye on me, you could have just stayed in ANBU, Gama-chan. Actually, I couldn't. The deal I struck with Ka-chan before entering put a time limit on my service. Besides, who says I want to keep an eye on you? Such arrogance, Hebeheim. Well, seeing as how you struggled to take them off me throughout dinner, it leads a girl to wonder. Oh, how do you know I wasn't looking at someone else? Because even when you are, you aren't. I never realized your hold over me was so absolute, Hinata-sama. You should be merciful and release this poor fool. No, I don't think I will. Keep your eyes on me a little longer, and you might just see something amazing, she said before disappearing in a swirl of leaves. I always do, that's why I never managed to look away. Chapter 16. How long had he felt unbearably tired? Years? A lifetime? Since that day? He can't even remember anymore. The weight of his secrets and sacrifices had been unrelenting. He missed home, and yet it was for its protection that he could never return. He was made a villain to people that would never know he was acting under orders. Orders? The spell that is weaved by the lie of authority. How many times did he remind himself that he was only following orders? Too many to count, but even the first time it felt hollow. The logic was especially galling to someone like him. Puppeteers are incredibly sensitive to manipulation, for it is the underpinning of their very art. He sighs again, for once again he makes a sacrifice, and once again his actions will likely lead to the death of Akatsuki. Sasori-dana, you okay? No, asshole, you just tried to detonate a massive explosion, killing of hundreds of people in the place I love more than anything. Oh, and I just poisoned some poor bastard that only wanted to save his brother. I'm not okay, he thinks. Fine, I just don't want to be late. Let's get a move on. The alarms can be heard in the background as the two missing nin flee Suna. Sasori's guilt is only magnified by the pride he feels in the young Kage. He protected his people to the end, and a long and painful death will be his reward. Chiyo-sama, I hope you know what you're doing. 8 hours later, we've just received an emergency message from Suna. Akatsuki has kidnapped Gaara and poisoned his brother, Kankuro. You four are to head out immediately. I'm assigning Naruto command of the mission. Any problems with that? Everyone knew the question was rhetorical, Sakura thought. It was like a Team 7 reunion except for this other Jonin she had never met named Yamato. Kakashi looked the same, but she had heard rumor he was not considered an S-class shinobi due to an incident in Lightning Country. Then there was Naruto. It amazed her how far Naruto had come. Before he returned from his trip, she hadn't directly interacted with him since that night in his apartment, even though she had really wanted to. But what was she to say? He had been right about her. He had put forth the effort to be a real time but had been rebuffed at every turn, often physically. She wanted to apologize, to tell him how horrified she was when Sasuke tried to use the Chidori during their match. True enough, she was in love with the last Uchiha, but she wasn't blind. Sasuke intended to kill Naruto, and in the moments between him activating the jutsu and being killed in an explosion, she fully assumed Naruto was going to be killed in front of an audience, after having been humiliated. Had what Sasuke said been true? Had Naruto been stunted and held back? Why, if she knew Sasuke's intent, did she ultimately want Naruto to justify his actions? Because, irrationally, she never thought Naruto would do that. She expected that if he found some way out of his predicament, it would be by the slimmest of margins, but both Sasuke and he would still be alive. It took her weeks to get over her guilt in realizing she was prepared for Sasuke to kill Naruto or for both of them to survive. She had that little faith in Naruto's skills and potential as a ninja that he simply couldn't be a threat to anyone. So when he demonstrated he could, it felt like a betrayal, a rejection of his role. Over the years training with Shizune and Tsunade, Sakura had a lot of time to reflect on her teammates from the academy to the first Chunin exams. She had always thought of Naruto as a loser, and it took a lot of soul searching to realize he had been assigned that role before he had done anything to prove it. Had that been any other child, everyone would be mortified at his treatment, the constant bullying from children and neglect from the teachers, but it was normalized. Naruto deserved it. He deserved all of the bad and none of the good. She cried for hours when she had that breakthrough and wanted to make it up to him, but how? He had essentially moved on, training with Kakashi, then a respected ANBU operative. A student and assistant of the Hokage has its advantages, so would he even care? Then he returned from his year-long training trip, no longer the boy she remembered but a young man, one who didn't greet her stiffly nor strictly professionally but with a certain amount of kindness. Maybe they could mend their relationship? Meet me at the gate in 30. Pack for a range of conditions, he said, and she departed. At shinobi speeds, the trip to Suna takes 3 days, so she was skeptical when Naruto stated he had a way to cut that time down. She was until she experienced teleporting for the first, and hopefully last time. Naruto, how do you handle doing this? Conditioning and practice. The effects are actually muted for you all since I encase you in a layer of my chakra. It's what's truly being transported. You have just a little, I have a ton. It sucked so hard the first 100 times, he said, scratching the back of his head. How do you know the Hiraishin no Jutsu? Okay, I might as well tell you everything. Sakura, the things I'm about to share are S-rank secrets. You don't have permission to divulge them to anyone who doesn't already know, okay? She nods. What else can she do? What you were told about the Kyuubi attack was a lie. You can't kill a Biju, only contain it. The fourth sealed half of the Kyuubi's chakra into his son, me. Gaara has a Biju too, and an organization of S-rank missing nin named Akatsuki are trying to extract them from the 8 hosts. If a host has their Biju extracted, they die, almost instantly. The only reason my mom was able to survive the extraction as long as she could was because she was a full-blooded Uzumaki, and had a strong life force than a normal shinobi. I am the third host of the Kyubi. The first was the wife of the Showdown Hokage. Almost no container of a biju asks for the burden, and likely no biju wants to be imprisoned, but regardless, if the seal is strong enough, the two remain separate entities with minimal influence upon each other. Oh, was her intelligent reply. So this is kinda personal for you? Somewhat, but it also is because Gaara is my friend. During my time away I got to meet most of the other Jinchuriki from other hidden villages, and there is a kinship amongst us. It's a unique experience. Are you okay with all of this? I know it's a lot. It is, but if you are the fourth son, why were you alone? Virtually no one knew of my parentage, but the older generations knew of my burden, so I was made a pariah. That bit of information isn't going to help her with her guilt, that's for damn sure. The team make decent progress into Wind Country until they stop at an oasis for the night. She had been thinking about everything until she heard Kakashi speak. I see the stories are true, Naruto. What do you mean, Kakashi-sensei, she asks. Well, our cute little team leader here created this oasis with Fuin Jutsu and Swait Jutsu, isn't that right? Partially. I had help with creating the water. It wasn't all from me, but I think while we've stopped it's a perfect time to get familiar with our skill set. Who would like to start? I will. My name is Yamato. I am a ninjutsu specialist primarily utilizing Doton and Suiton Jutsu. I am a close to mid-range fighter. I am Kakashi Hatake. I am a tracker and ninjutsu specialist as well as strategist for the team. I likely have a jutsu for every occasion. Do I really have to go? Neither of those two were good for my ego. I am Sakura Haruno. I am a medic and support specialist but with strong taijutsu skills. Long-range support or close-range fighting if need be. Excellent. I am Naruto Uzumaki Senju. I specialize in nin, fuin and kenjutsu. I can fight from any range and have mastered every elemental nature release as well as space-time ninjutsu. Oh, now I just feel like shit, Sakura thought. We've all been assigned here for a reason, and I'm sure with our collective skills we will save Gaara. After curing Kankuro and saving Kakashi-sensei from a granny, we picked up the trial and rushed toward Gaara's location. Her brief time in Suna had been enlightening as the people there almost revered Naruto for saving Gaara years prior, and had the utmost faith he'd do it again, and she had to admit she started to believe it too when she saw him effortlessly behead Itachi Uchiha. That's not the real Itachi, he said almost flippantly as Kakashi-sensei and Yamato handled the other person, Naruto later identified as Kisame. The team ran into a barrier once they arrived at Gaara's location, but thanks to the arrival of Team 9 they eventually dispelled it, to only find Gaara's dead body. No matter what else happens, you both died today, Naruto said. His voice could have frozen water as it even scared Sakura a bit. The blonde ran off with Gaara's body, causing Naruto and Kakashi to give chase. Why was she late? What had taken so long? She said she had a plan. She said she could save him, but once again Sasori is responsible for the death of Akatsuki. Damn it, he shouts internally. It wasn't supposed to be this way. No matter what else happens, you both died today, some blonde punk said. Oh, it's the Kyubi Jinchuriki, Sasori noticed, and wondered if the kid could back up his threats. Guess he'd find out later. Seeing who is left, Sasori paid special attention to his grandmother, and the pink-haired girl. Is that natural? Admittedly, she does pull it off, he thinks as he prepares for final battle. He took my fucking arm. I'm going to blow that Kakashi bastard straight to hell for this. God damn it, I hate those eyes, Itachi being an okay guy notwithstanding. Deidara thinks as he flees with Gaara's body. You just had to use your eye, didn't you? Did you have a better idea? Several. What has Uncle Kakashi said about showing him up? Don't do it when chicks are around. Fair enough. What's your idea? Charge a kunai with right-on chakra and throw it when I tell you. Shadow Clone Jutsu. Kakashi watches as the Shadow Clone positions himself in front of the two, not realizing the plan. Space-time barrier, the clone says as a void with kanji emerging from it appears. Now aim to the lower right, Naruto says as he throws two kunai through the barrier. Deidara didn't have time to react. The futon-powered kunai ripped through his heart. The right-on kunai deactivated his dragon, and his last image was a blue-eyed blonde appear in front of him out of nowhere, grabbing the Kazekage and then disappearing just as fast. Why didn't I think of that? You rely on that eye too much. It's going to get you in trouble one day. Let's head back. You've gotten so strong, Sasori-chan, she whispers to her grandson. Go on and rest, you've earned it. Besides, they are waiting for you and I won't be too long. The reassurance of his beloved grandmother is how Sasori of the Red Sands leaves the impure world. If she hadn't been feeling completely insecure about her abilities before, the battle with Sasori sure did the trick. Without Yamato's Mokutan defenses and Lady Chiyo's abilities with chakra strings, Sakura knows she had been of little use. Fortunately, those two were there and she was able to utilize her chakra-enhanced strength to break his puppets. Now she watches as Lady Chiyo performs some jutsu to revive the Kazekage, at the cost of her own life, Sakura assumes. She sees Naruto look so solemn. Does he think this is how he'll end up, she wonders. It isn't too long before the Kazekage awakens and hugs his friend, appreciating the rescue. We collect the Lady Chiyo and head back to Suna for a much-deserved rest and to pay our respects to the fallen. 2 days later, Sachikage-sama, urgent news. What is it, boy? What has you so animated? Deidara the Mad Bomber has been killed by Konoha Nin. Any idea who? Yes, the slated to receive the bounty are Kakashi Hatake and Naruto Uzumaki. That man's student? And Uzumaki, you say? Any intel on him? Speak, damn it. He is likely the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi, though no reports of him using its chakra can be found. He is the student of Hatake, but pretty much fell off the radar a little under a year of being his student. From what we have, he apparently became a Jonin around a year ago at the age of 15. No word on his skills, however. It is also alleged he is the apprentice of Jiraiya of the Sannin. Here's a picture. The Tsuchikage was quiet for several minutes, looking over every detail in the picture. Leave. Return in 10 minutes with the Jounin commander, and send out word for Han and Rashi. Yes, Tsuchikage-sama. The IWA Nin barely made it out of the office before he heard it. The Tsuchikage, in blind fury, destroying everything in his office. First, that bastard decimates my army, costs me the war and humiliates our village for a generation. Then he manages to get that red-headed whore pregnant with his demon spawn and no one knows. Said son hides in plain sight for years, Jinchuriki status an apparent open secret within the village, and I knew nothing. Then the little bastard kills Deidara, my son in all but blood? This will not stand. I couldn't kill that Namikaze, but I will kill his son. Potential for war be damned. Those two families are a curse. That they would jointly produce a menace is inconceivable. He needs to die. He needs to die soon. It was soon that the Jounin commander joined Onoki in his now destroyed office. The longest-serving Kage informed him of his suspicions and his need to kill the boy of their most hated enemy. I'm assuming you don't want him in the bingo book? No, I actually want him dead, not to spread his legend. We need to draw him out so Han and Rashi can deal with him, though I'd still send 3 full Jounin squads to back them up just in case. And that's not overkill? We have no idea what this boy can do. I'd rather be over-prepared than under. Get more information if you can and start working on a way to get him. I need him dead as soon as possible. Yes, Tsuchikage-sama. 1 day later. Excellent work all. Your pay will be deposited by close of business tomorrow. Is there anything else? After receiving no answers, she dismisses the team. Hey, Naruto? Yeah, Sakura? Would you like to grab some lunch with me? Sure, sounds like fun. You can tell me what you've been up to for the past 3 years. And fun it was. Sakura quickly realized how engaging Naruto could be, and while it may take some time, she does hope that the two can find a way to be friends. Hey, Naruto. I felt outclassed during the mission. Do you think we could train together sometime? I'd be happy to. What would you like to work on? Speed and reaction time. I trained it with Tsunade Shosho, but I've seen how much I can improve. I know I'm not a frontline fighter, but I'd like it to be out of choice, not necessitate. Yes, I understand completely. I'll certainly help where I can. I have a few ideas that could. Naruto, what's wrong? ANBU. And as soon as he said it, an ANBU agent with a mouse mask appeared. Naruto-sama, your presence is requested in the council room, immediately, she said before disappearing in a swirl of leaves. Well, this was fun while it lasted. I'll see you later, Sakura. Bye, Naruto. Extending his senses, Naruto feels a Hiratian marker already in the council room and instantly teleports there. Upon appearing, he startles the clan heads in attendance, including his adoptive mother. Hokage-sama, I was summoned. Yes, Naruto, please sit down. We have called you here today not as a Jounin of Konoha but as a clan heir. There has been an allegation that you have been directly interfering in the business of a clan, and said clan has levied a grievance with the support of one other clan head. This process has not been used in decades, but so things do not escalate, we have come here to discuss the allegation and potential remedies. Hiashi, you have the floor. Thank you, Hokage-sama. The Hyuga clan has been stagnating in our business affairs for about 3 years now. A majority of our attempts at growth have gone to a particular group, a concern that seems highly knowledgeable about internal clan affairs and the general MO of the Hyuga. So you're an influence peddler losing influence. What does that have to do with me? Insolent whelp, are you a member of this concern? No. Can you prove it? You generally aren't encouraged to attempt to prove a negative. Starting to feel frustrated, Hiashi continues, would you be willing to show us your financial documents? If you aren't a part of this concern, an audit would prove it. It might, but no, my financial affairs are my business, not yours. Besides, I don't see the issue. If you're so great, then get these opportunities back, be better. We've come here in good faith. This could be an issue between clans and you do not want that. Why wouldn't I? What would you actually do? In times past, these kinds of things caused feuds between clans, okay? These aren't times past. Be a man, make a proper threat, or shut up and let me leave. Sim had remained quiet for most of this, but seeing Hayashi's smug-ass smackdown proved too amusing and she couldn't help but laugh boisterously at his current predicament. You think I'm bluffing? Yes, I do. You're not a shinobi anymore. You're just a politician that can fight. You hide behind words and your duplicity is only met with more words. You've forgotten what an immediate consequence feels like, and that's the difference between us. I don't play word games, I don't concern myself with deals in locked rooms. Make your threat. Threaten my family and then see what threatening a shinobi gets you. I'll give you a hint, you'll be fattening the Yamanaka's coffers with all the flowers you'll be buying. Lady Hokage, surely you won't allow this. What do you want me to do? This is the process, you've made it an issue between clans. Since I'm the Hokage, he is acting clan head. If he doesn't want to aid you or offer evidence to counter your allegation, what you do about it is your choice. But we know he interferes, he did it with my Ino. The smug prick's damage has yet to be fully healed. I didn't tell Ino anything specific, so your problems are your own, Inoichi, but my general position applies to you as well. If you have an issue, do something about it. But understand, the next time you burn down something of mine, I won't care how drunk you were or how accidental it was, I'll be coming to see about you. Inoichi looks at Tsunade, shocked at what Naruto just said. I only withheld it from him until I was sure he wouldn't try to harm you. Clearly he hasn't, so I made the right decision. While she had initially lied to Naruto, she had revealed the truth of the fire in the letter she gave him when he left the village. She didn't want there to be any secrets between them. When Naruto read the official report and Inoichi's confession, he shrugged. Losing the apartment hurt because of what it represented, but she wasn't wrong to delay telling him. His hard-won maturity allowed him to reach that conclusion fast enough. Troublesome, this is getting out of hand. Let's take a few steps back. Naruto, no one is threatening you. While no law says you can't, we generally stay out of the way of each other's affairs, and while that can get a bit tricky with how widespread the Hyuga dealings can be, we are hoping to come to an accord. But I'm not part of any concern. If I had a reason to undermine Hiashi, I'd just break him in front of his fellow clansmen. I prefer to be straightforward in my personal affairs. Leave all that cloak and dagger shit for the job, Databayo. You forget yourself, boy. The Hyuga is the strongest clan of Konoha, and I stand atop its members. You. Hiashi couldn't finish his statement as the snickering, turned to full-on laughter, stopped him. Tsunade, Hiruzen and Danzo could be forgiven due to what they witnessed during his assessment a week ago. Hiashi, please just stop. We are all people of action here. Bluster does not become us. Hiruzen said. Sandaime-sama, what do you mean? I mean, you may see a cocky 16-year-old talking out of turn. I'm trying to assure you, if anything, he's being modest. Naruto has claimed innocence, you really haven't provided proof he's involved, and intimidation tactics won't work. You either have to accept he's telling the truth, search for more evidence, or declare yourself in conflict with the Senju. Taken aback by the Sandaime's words and realizing he has trapped himself, Hiashi withdraws the complaint. If that's all, this meeting is dismissed, said Tsunade. In the park, 15 minutes later, three figures meet to discuss the session with the clan heads. I am somewhat surprised it took him this long to levy an accusation. Are we prepared for the final step? Asked Danzo. I think he is sufficiently rattled. Goading Hiashi into making one final mistake shouldn't be too difficult, but once you do this, there is no turning back, stated Hiruzen. I knew that when I started this. Hiashi crossed the line, too used to screwing with people who can't strike back. He'll be humbled and stripped of his power. When I'm matriarch, the Hyuga will be a real family, and can finally grow again. I thank you, gentle, for your efforts. I couldn't have done it without you, stated Hinata. I owe Naruto-kun that much, said Hiruzen. I just really don't like Hiashi, supplied Danzo. The last thing you generally want to do after finally being able to shower after a desert mission is run errands for your lazy-ass sister. Why Shizune couldn't do this, Naruto will never know, but he has learned that his life is just easier when he gives her what she wants. Only because Tsunade wouldn't be happy if he threw a raisin shuriken at her long-time apprentice/daughter figure. Hell, knowing Shizune, she'd still manage to be a pest. Luckily, the errands didn't last long and Naruto can finally relax. Or so he thought, so stuck in his head about the Gaara rescue mission and the council session he didn't notice his visitor until she was on his bed, damn near in his lap. He didn't have to look up to identify the person. Her familiar lavender vanilla scent a dead giveaway. But why is she here? In a towel and nothing else. And why is she so close? He wonders as Hinata is so near that simply turning his head would cause his lips to brush past hers, and she waits. This is a special kind of torture. Why is she here? He wants to uphold his promise to do what he could to make her a clan head, and that involves staying away. He wants to keep to his word, it's his nindo, but her being this close. He almost has to touch her to confirm she's real. He closes his eyes as the last of his restraint leaves, only consumed by the smell of lavender and vanilla and the tightening muscles in his stomach. He can feel her smiling, as if her victory had been assured and only Naruto was the last to know. One quick kiss and that's it, Naruto reasons, and soon he does just that. Instead of it quenching his desire, it was the spark of an uncontrollable wildfire. That initial kiss, a peck, turned into a proper kiss, followed by a lip lock. Eventually his hands cradled her cheeks as she eased into a deep, soul-searched kiss where they both explored each other's mouths. The rest of the night was a blur of bodily movement. He remembers not removing her towel, only that it eventually led to his head between her legs. More time lost as now he's on top of her. A steady rhythm gradually increases as she moans his name. Then finally she's on top of him, riding with abandon until both were satisfied. He felt sleeping claiming him as he held his lover, his Hinata-chan, in his arms, managing to say one thing before drifting off. I love you, Hinata-chan. Chapter 17, Ch. 17 The Rise of Hinata Hyuga. I sit on his lap, face mere inches from his. I wait, not moving any closer nor away. I can feel the internal debate and indecision well up within him, a struggle to keep a promise he made so many years ago to help me become clan head in whatever way he could. I could tell him a plan has been in the works for years, since Hiashi proposed that false choice, but I won't. I want him to give in. I don't know why, maybe it's because of Tenten. How unfair, I told him to move on but it still hurt, imagining her receiving the affections that should have been mine and only mine. There are several of his first I'll never receive, so I will have this. Uzumaki Naruto going back on a promise for me. I feel him start to break, debate nearing its end. It would be so easy to push him over the edge, a few sweet words, but I won't. I once had to muster the courage to approach him. Every step to his apartment felt like a journey unto itself, but it was worth it. Now I want him to do the same. To chose me, consequences be damned. And he did, a chaste kiss lasting only a fraction of a second, as if he's reached some grand bargain within himself. He won't hold on to that lie for long. I already feel it, and I know he does. He'll need more now. I wrap my arms around his neck and move just a little closer. I feel the heat on his face and grin. I've won and we both know it. Any delay is just ego. I'll allow it. I'll let him save face this time. You sacrifice for the ones you love, right? The second kiss is deeper and longer, and he wraps his arms around me. I struggle to fight back a smile. He's given up and I know I'm in control. What happened next got lost in a whirlwind of passion, lasting minutes or hours. I'll never know, but before we let sleep take us, I hear, I love you, Hinata-chan, and I can only smile as he holds me against his chest. Morning greets us, and it's the mixture of emotions on his face is, frankly, adorable. I know he has questions, but I have some things to get in order before I can give them to him. I know you must be wondering what this meant. All I ask is you give me until tonight. No problem, but there is something I need to tell you. I was pulled into a meeting with the clan heads. Hiashi levied some accusations and I kinda lost my temper. You didn't hit him, did you? No, but that might have been better. I dared him to threaten me and then implied, lightly, I'd kill a lot of my clan if he did, kinda? I giggled. I know he's worked on it, but his temper is a flaw of his, and being screwed with by any authority figure sets him off. Hiashi is his natural enemy, so I can't even really be mad. I'd prefer if you didn't attack my clan members. How strong a preference. Fairly. Fine, Hinata-chan. I won't stand alone against the largest clan in the village. For you. He laughed, but the subtext is clear. Temper he may have, but he doesn't make empty threats, and I'd hate to see what he'd do to someone that endangered Tsunade or Shizune, ever the romantic, Naruto-kun. As much fun as this has been, I must return to the compound as Hiashi and I have business. So I'll see you tonight? Most certainly. A quick shower and a change of clothes later and I'm off to the compound. It's a short walk, but I take the long way as I reflect on how I got here. It likely started when I was 9 or 10. I don't remember when, but I know it was around that time I stopped caring what Hiashi thought of, well, anything. overly critical and needlessly cruel, and never thought it could be counterproductive. In the entirety of the Hyuga clan history there had not been a female clan head. Surely they can't think that an accident. But don't question any of the gendered assumptions built into our traditions. Kami forbid. I learned early on that tradition is one of the many ways the cowardly and the powerful cling to the status quo. The fact that I realized our taijutsu style was actively fighting me when I was a child went to show me that no one wanted to see it. As if a Hyuga's never been defeated before, such arrogance. Anyway, when I stopped caring about Hiashi's opinion I became free. That's why his words were just background noise the night of the preliminaries. How can you be mad I tied with a prodigy? But he's a cadet branch member so you must be better. But you labeled him a prodigy. Irrational, simply irrational. I should be annoyed but I can only smile, something I got from Enko-sensei. Don't let stupid people annoy you, they are here to entertain you, she said. I found the truth of the quote later as I was nursing a kunai wound when she initially said it. The disappointing Hyuga and the snake mistress. Quite a pair we made. While Kurenai-sensei made us great trackers and gave us strong foundations, what I learned from Enko-sensei is what prepared me for ANBU service. Why do you want me to train you? It's not for some boy. Not entirely. Rolling her eyes, Enko goes to respond but is cut off. Look, my grand ambition and reason for being isn't some boy. I want to be the head of my clan, but to do that my claim must be undeniable. They only respect combat ability. Kurenai-sensei can only take me so far and it isn't far enough. She may make us the best trackers but I need something more, and as one of the best kunoichi in the village I was hoping you could get me closer to my goal. With that said, there is a boy. One with near limitless potential that is actively being held back. If he ever gets a decent sensei and half a chance he'll be something special, and special in our world attracts enemies. I can't be weak if I want to be with him. Enko nods in approval. Okay, not bad motivations, but that does leave the second part of the equation. Why should I train you, Gakiheim? Because there is a lack of serious kunoichi in my generation, so why turn down one of the few who are? What if I don't care about that? Shrugging, not sure. But I am a firm believer in reciprocity, so what can I do for you? I'll have to think on it. Meet me at the Forest of Death tomorrow after your team training is done. Merciless but never cruel. Every aspect of my skill set improved, and I'll be forever thankful to her. I'll have to treat her to lunch when this is over, maybe share a story or two. She did make me promise to tell her how good the fox Gaki was in the sack when I finally got him. I think it was initially to try and shock me, then it just became a source of curiosity. I wonder if he's still in bed. Damn, should have gotten one more ride in. I am doing a terrible job of focusing. Nothing underlined this point better than not noticing two of the largest chakra signatures in the village standing right by me. Are you ready to do this, Hinata-chan? Yes, Sandaime-sama. And where are you coming from? It is quite early. Danzo-sama seemed entirely too amused by his barb, and I try my best not to blush. I had a previous engagement. A ghost of a smile could be seen on his face. I'm sure you did. Good morning, Hinata-sama. A guard greets me. Hello, can you send word for my father and the elders to convene? We have honored guests and some issues to discuss. Of course. I lead my two co-conspirators to the courtyard. 3 years isn't a long time, but it can feel like it. I can't help but remember how it started. Hello, Danzo-sama. Thank you for meeting me. Of course, Hinata-san, what can I do for you? I have an issue and it involves your student. Naruto requested permission to court me, and Hiashi, in his infinite wisdom, made me choose between seeing Naruto and being clan head. I know not his reasons nor do I care, but he's gone too far this time. I seek your aid and your guidance to show Hiashi the error of his ways, before you strip him of his position? Exactly. So, what are you thinking? I don't want to harm the clan, but allowing it to stagnate would be fine. Hiashi and the elders are predictable, so knowing what opportunities to target wouldn't be difficult. What do you need from me? Contacts, counsel, and initially capital. I intend to join ANBU soon, so I'll have enough money to fund it after that, but I'll need help for the initial funding. Not a bad idea. The amount of bounties ANBU officers collect is substantial. I don't like your father. I believe your clan is generally out for themselves first, village second, and I really don't like people screwing with my student. You have your partner, Hinata-san. Let's meet back in a few days and go over some initial plans. We'll be starting immediately. I'm looking forward to it. Sandaime-sama joined almost 2 months later, shortly after Naruto's apartment caught fire, and things really took off from there. The Hyuga were, frankly, living off past successes. Almost no one enjoys doing business with our clan, but our track record allows for a certain amount of inertia. When people were given a choice between stuck-up assholes claiming false nobility and someone who understood that I'm not doing you a favor by gracing you with my presence, they took the alternative. eagerly. As for Naruto, I'm happy he got a family out of that ordeal, but I'd be lying if I didn't say my heart broke when I heard. We shared so much time together in that apartment, my home away from home, and I'm sure he felt the loss as well. I swore, if it had been intentional, I'd have hunted said person down and made putty of their internal organs. To learn it was Ino's father was just sad, as in pathetic. All because he put Ino on the trail of something he actually did. It boggles the mind. Hiashi-sama and the elders have gathered and are expecting you, please follow me. And we did, only to be greeted by the stern faces of our most esteemed members. Even the one I busted up a little bit ago. I find it adorable how he avoids me, so of course I wave. Yeah, you're my bitch forever and ever now, grandfather. Hinata, why have you called this meeting and what are the Sandaime and Danzo-san doing here? I've come to discuss your failure in leadership as clan head and how you have allowed the Hyuga to become stagnant. How dare you? How dare I not? We have not seen significant growth in years, all under your guidance with the help of the existing council. None of you have been able to pull us out of the rut we have been experiencing because none of you are capable. For too long we have adhered to a dogmatic approach. It has made us predictable. As shinobi or business people, we need new ways. Someone with the insight to face new challenges. Tell me, father, how long did it take you to uncover the business concern that was actively undermining you? How do you know about it? The very fact you have to ask only furthers my point. We are that concern. We are the ones that have been predicting and countering your every move. You couldn't handle competition. As soon as someone tried to get what you wanted, you faltered. It is time for new leadership. I fail to see how I have betrayed anything. Am I not a member of this clan? If I am them as clan head, the contacts and opportunities one have developed would certainly go to benefit the clan. I demand to know why. You demand nothing from me, she said with an impressive amount of venom. Now is the time to be held accountable, Hiashi. You're a failure as a clan head, a father, a man in general. The Hyuga can do better, and under my stewardship we will. I refuse to step down. Then I challenge you, here and now. You can't refuse. I am the recognized heiress. It is well within my rights to challenge for leadership. Come, Hiashi, stand before your failure of a daughter. You've grown arrogant. I separated you from that boy far later than I should have. His taint is all over you. As Hiashi finished, an impressive amount of killing intent flooded the room. Mind your words, Hiashi. Speak of Naruto in such a way again and I may be tempted to strike you down myself, Danzo said. Is this why they are here, to fight your battles for you? It's sad you can't even see what genuine affection looks like. No, I brought them here because they are my partners. I brought them so you could see how easily I outmaneuvered you. I need no one to fight my battles for me. I'm still a shinobi, and you imply I am not, only to save the time of outsaying it. You're just a politician that can fight. I'm sure a smirk looks wrong on my face, but I don't even care. It worked. Thank you, Danzo-sama, for telling me Naruto said that. Hayashi's beyond pissed and will accept the challenge. I accept. And when you lose, you will be stripped of your position and branded. Ha! I'll kill you and ever main branch elder before I let you brand me. Not that I'm going to lose, mind you. Hiashi is now livid, and it just goes to show that the Hyuga don't admire strength, just the appearance of strength. They want people they can control. They disdain the truly strong. Fine, girl. Father, call the match. You all will be a witness to me putting down this disgrace. So much talking, so little action. Come, Hiashi-chan, no more hiding behind your position and stern glares. We square up. He's going to rush me. He'll fight textbook and try to overwhelm me. If I had my ninjato, I'd show him the error of his ways, but I don't actually want to kill my father, for the most part. Still, his predictability is my greatest weapon. I'll embarrass him, and then put him to sleep, Hajime. And of course he tries to rush in, use his superior reach against a smaller blah blah blah. Does he really think he's the only person to try this? My dual water whips prove the folly in his strategy, as he narrowly avoids one hitting him in his left eye. Ah, good old water whips. A favorite training tool of Naruto. Gamachan, what's with that? This is a water whip, it's a training aid. Gets the best result. 20 minutes later. Faster, Hibi. If you're going to be on this squad, if people say I trained you, then I want you fast. You sure you just don't want me, Gamachan? The swift crack of the whip across my ass was his only response. I didn't feel the need to point out that every time he's hit me with that whip it's been on my ass. Gama might be telling me some things about himself. Ass man that likes to spank. I'll file that away for later. I feel another assault on my posterior. Too slow and lacking focus, Hibi. He's let to figure out a way past my water whips and it isn't even fun anymore, so I dispel them. Oh, here comes another rush, how original. Fine, time to end this. As soon as he is within striking distance, I jump, performing a corkscrew in the air, hitting him in his shoulders and in the back of his head, right at the brainstem. He falls unconscious. I make it look easy, but Hiashi is actually strong, and if I fought in the traditional way I wouldn't beat him, but fights are about winning. Shinobi should be primarily instrumental in their fighting philosophy. What's best is what works, what they don't suspect, and what ends your enemy with you taking as little damage as possible. Impossible. Are you going to call the match, Hiashi? Or should I attack a defenseless man? He wants to sneer. I see it in his eyes, but he knows better. Winner and new matriarch, Hinata Hyuga. Thank you, Honorable Elder. As your new matriarch, I would like to start fixing the errors of my predecessor. Hiashi, Hizami, and Hitoshi, you will be going to 3 different locations within Hai no Kuni. Each is a location with a new business associate. I would like you to oversee our affairs. Impossible. We make up the majority of the Elder Council. And how are you to advise me if you do not understand the directions I am taking us? Also, are you not members of the clan? Getting no response, I continue then, as your clan head, I have the right to assign any clan member any task I deem appropriate, and I have assigned each of you a task. I expect you ready to leave by nightfall. I will request 3 separate C-rank missions from Tsunade-sama. Why can't some branch members be our escorts? Are you going to question every decision I make? They won't be escorting you because I'll be meeting with the entirety of the cadet branch. We have some things to discuss. If there is nothing else, gentlemen, dismissed. I say as I turn and leave. Walking out of the compound with Sandaime-sama and Danzo-sama, they wait to speak until we have exited the compound. Most impressive, Hinata. Thank you, Sandaime-sama. I assume everything is ready when the honorable elders reach their destinations? Yes, they'll be all but cut off from any power base or influence for the foreseeable future, said Danzo. Excellent. Well, I have to see Tsunade-sama. Thank you both for everything. Of course, you're welcome, my girl. Hello, Shizune, is Tsunade-sama free? She is just finishing up a meeting and has some free time afterward. Plenty of time for us to chat, so how are things? Did you make a man of my little Naruto? She said, smiling. We enjoyed ourselves. Thank you again for getting him out of the compound. No problem. Running errands for me keeps him humble and reminds him of the natural order of things. You enjoy torturing him entirely too much. It's such fun, he has no choice to take it like a good little brother. We share a laugh and then see the door to the Hokage's office open, people exiting. As they clear out, Shizune goes to the office, likely to announce my presence. The Hokage will see you now. Entering the office, I give my formal greeting. Hokage-sama, I say with a slight bow. Good morning, how may I help you? Well, there are a few things. First, I would like to officially tender my resignation from ANBU as I have just been made the head of my clan. Congratulations, she says with a genuine smile. Thank you, Hokage-sama. I would also like to request 3 C-rank escort missions for tonight. Sure, just give the details to the mission office. The teams are on standby. Finally, I am in need a seal master. Would Jiraiya-sama be available tonight? I believe he has been hanging around the village. I'll inform him to meet you at your compound tonight. What time? 6 should be perfect. Was there anything else? No, Hokage-sama. That'll be all. Okay. Oh, Hinata. Yes, Hokage-sama? Make sure Naruto clears out some space for you. Lugging a bag back and forth is inefficient, and men never think about that sort of thing. Aye, good day, Hokage-sama, I say as I flee from her office, hearing her laugh in the background. The Hokage being aware of your sex life is just too awkward to deal with right now. The day proceeds. I meet with both Kurenai and Anko-sensei to share my news. Both congratulate me and I thank them for helping me getting there. Even Shino had an open, for him, show of emotion when I told him. The elders having left an hour ago worked out for me as Jiraiya is not arriving. Fortunately, I had the entire cadet branch in a meeting area. Are you prepared for this, Jiraiya-sama? Yes, the documents you provided me made the seal removal an easy solve. Good. I won't delay on this. Walking into the meeting room, I begin. For too long there has been a division between main and cadet branch members. This has kept us from being a true family. I mean to see an end to that division starting today. Jiraiya-sama has found a method of removal, and we will begin this process today. You will be free from the bondage you have wrongfully had to endure. I only ask that you aid me in creating a new Hyuga clan. One free from the pervasive arrogance and fear of change that we were once known for. The transition to a new way will not be easy, but monumental change never is. I see the disbelief written on their faces, and I can't blame them. I'm sure most of them believed me to be a failure as well, having little interaction with me. Jiraiya stays for about 2 hours before his dwindling chakra reserves require he cease for the day. Now that it's no longer a secret, I'll teach Naruto the process and let that stamina freak handle the rest. Thank you for everything, Jiraiya-sama. I should be implementing plans for the transition. But it will hold until tomorrow. I owe someone a conversation. On the way to the Senju compound felt similar to the first I ever went to Naruto's apartment. I was so nervous that day. The walk from the academy to his apartment took twice as long as necessary as I kept considering turning around and going home. I remember walking up his stairs, my legs shaking uncontrollably, and when I knocked on his door, even I felt it was so light he wouldn't hear it. But he did and greeted me with a warm smile. "Hi, Hinata." "Ano, hi, Naruto-kun." "Happy birthday," I said as I handed him his present. "Thank you, Hinata. You didn't have to do this. Would you like to come in for some tea? I'd like that." He looked at that walrus nightcap like it was spun gold, and I never forgot how that small gesture impacted him. In my reminiscing, I didn't realize I was standing at the front door of the Senju main house. I knock and am instantly greeted by the sun-given human form, in a black tank top and black sweatpants. "Hi, Hinata." "Hi, I believe I owe you a conversation." "You free?" "Yeah, but not here, follow me." It was a relatively short walk to our destination, the Senju waterfall. "Why here specifically?" "I'll tell you after you're done." "Okay, why the secret?" Whatever. I'm the new clan matriarch. Congratulations, Hinata. You've achieved your dream. I'm glad that business group of yours worked out." "No, not yet." Wait, how did you know?" "Hanabi mentioned it when I came back, then I'm accused of being involved." "That night you pay me a most welcome visit and now you're the clan head." "Good deduction." "Hinata, what's wrong?" "I don't know. I thought about this day for so long and now that it's here I don't know what to say. My clan is going to go through a massive upheaval with what I've done today. There will be so much to do and it's all on me now." "Why?" "Why is it all on you?" "Because I can't show any weakness in my position. They'll be looking for the slightest fault to oust me, and I still will have my responsibilities as a shinobi. I'm not retiring, not yet, Hinata. And then there's the Akatsuki. We have no idea what may be going on with them, or what that would cause the other villages to do, Hinata. And there's just so much. What do we do? You're a clan heir and I'm a clan head. How do we resolve that?" I was startled when I felt his lips on mine, but he stayed there long enough for me to get over my shock and return the gesture. "Hinata? Yes? Will you be my girlfriend?" "Just like that, just like that." "Yes, I will be your girlfriend." "Yada, things won't be easy. Easy is boring. We'll have a lot to figure out." "We aren't going to figure it out tonight, so instead of worrying about it, dance with me." "Here? Where better to dance than a moonlit waterfall? There's no music." "Then we'll have to make our own," he says as he scoops me in his arms and carries me to the pond under the waterfall. For the rest of the night we would dance to a song only heard by two. Chapter 18. Alright, gang, bring it in. I've got some bad news. After sealing the Ichibi, Sasori and Deidara were both killed. The path to peace is never easy, and while I had hoped we'd all live to see it, I guess that was just the wish of a fool. I thought we could open it up, maybe say a few words before we continued with other business. Who'd like to go first? I would, leader-sama. Hayden, you have the floor. Now, I know my beliefs can be a little difficult for some. Jashin's way is not for everyone, but neither Sasori nor Deidara judged me. Deidara even called me an artist. Sasori was always a calming influence, and Deidara was always fun. I'll miss them both. Hear, hear. Anyone else? No? Okay, as much as it hurts we do need to move on, and I've made an executive decision. Itachi and Kisame, I want you to go after the Nanabi. Hayden and Kakuzu, Setsu reports that the Tsuchikage will be sending the IWA Jinchuriki to kill the Kyuubi Jinchuriki. Keep an eye on that confrontation and take whichever ones are too weak to fight back. With a little luck it'll be all three. Hayden, after what happened with the Yujutoni, I must remind you, we are not torturing these poor souls for the fun of it. We are not hunting them because they deserve it. Their collective sacrifice is the only path toward lasting peace. Hi, Leader-sama. It kinda got away from me. Mistakes happen. Just don't let it happen again. If there is nothing else, you are all dismissed. Leaving their meeting room, Kisame and Itachi head toward their shared room in silence. Once they arrive, they enter the room and engage some silencing seals. The IWA Jinchuriki, can they defeat Naruto? From our little spar in Suna, I'd say on a purely skill level? No. But he may try to reason with them, invoke their shared status to avoid conflict, and that might get him hurt. HN, you still planning to face him? The die has been cast, Kisame, and there is no avoiding it. Bullshit, you are making a choice, Itachi. You know if you just... I will speak no more of this, Kisame. I'd appreciate you just dropping it. Fine, Itachi. In a grotto under Senju Waterfall lay Hinata and Naruto, slowly stirring to greet the day. Awaking to the familiar mop of indigo hair, Naruto can't help but smile. As much as I'd like to, we can't stay like this all day. I need to get back. You sure? Naruto said, stroking her hair. Unfortunately. She said, well, Hyuga, Hinata, liberator of the Hyuga clan, can I at least walk back with you? I would like that, Uzumaki, Naruto. That's all I got. You've accomplished nothing. Man, I think I picked wrong. Oh, how you wound me! How will I ever recover? He said in mock hurt. I'm sure I can make it up to you later. Now, no more stalling, she said as she jumps on his back. Forward, my faithful steed. If I had to put money on you riding me this morning, this is not how I'd imagine it, he said before flashing to the exit of the Senju compound. The two continue to talk, while Hinata is still on his back all the way to the Hyuga compound. This is where we must part, my good sir, she says while giving him a bow. My lady, it has been an honor and a privilege, he says, returning her gesture. The two cause the guards at the gates to chuckle, while they give each other a quick kiss and a hug and go their separate ways. As Hinata is entering her room, she is stopped by a glaring Hiashi. So this is why you betray your clan? For that boy? How have I betrayed the clan? You must establish that before you admonish my motivations for doing so, Hiashi-san. Bristling at how he was just addressed, he continues, you betray us by overturning and dismissing our traditions. Traditions older than this village. Traditions that allowed us to be the strongest clan in the village. Hinata can't help herself, she knows she shouldn't. What she is about to do is likely the very worst response she could have to this man, but it's simply too late. Hinata laughs. Hard. This man, this ridiculous, small man, when have we been the strongest clan? Surely not during the reign of the first and second Hokage? So, after the second Shinobi War, after villages stopped ruthlessly targeting every Senju they could? No, still had the Uchiha around then. Okay, so after the Uchiha massacre? Sure, I'll grant you that. So, that's been about 10 years ago, right? Hiashi curtly nods. Well, seeing as how we aren't the most powerful clan now, that means this tradition you're citing that's older than the village allowed us to be the strongest clan of Konoha for about a decade when such designation had nothing to do with us. What do you mean we aren't the strongest clan now? The Senju clan has 2 Kage-level shinobi, one of which could kill the majority of our clan if not the entirety. Surely you don't have that much faith in that boy. I'm talking about Tsunade-sama. It's crazy how people underestimate her. I'm going to tell you something that isn't widely known, Hiashi-san. Tsunade-sama has a weekly sparring session with a single ANBU squad, and every squad dreads when it's their turn. She smacks us around like we're children. No one has reportedly been able to land a clean blow on her since she started this practice 3 years ago. Our most elite ninja get handled by our leader, and you think a clan of one-trick ponies that specialize in her strongest discipline is going to touch her? You can't be that delusional. As for Naruto, I haven't seen him in action since his return, but Sandaime-sama and Danzo-sama told me about his assessment, and they were beyond impressed. So no, Hiashi, we are not the strongest clan. We've yet to produce a single S-rank ninja in our entire history. Our traditions hold us back. Now I need to get changed because I have business to attend to. Good day. She finishes before entering her room, leaving a speechless Hiashi in the hall. In IWA, the Sandaime Tsuchikage is sporting the largest grin on his face he's had since he learned of the death of the original Yellow Menace. Now confident that he'll kill the bastard's bastard of a son, he's almost gleeful. Yes, this may in fact spark a war, but given their Jinchuriki will be dead and he'll release the container's lineage just to drop their morale, Anoki is utterly confident in his plans. Initially Han and Rashi were reluctant to go along with this, either having actively participated in a mission in years nor caring that the Uzumaki was really a Namikaze. It still annoys him how much effort went into getting his weapons to just obey. He's supposed to point at a problem and they wipe it off the map. Either way, the plan is set and he couldn't be happier. This will change IWA, he thought. He'll curse himself for that thought one day in the future. 1 week later, Iwa's Jinchuriki are requesting asylum. Apparently they don't feel protected by Iwa's forces against the Akatsuki threat, but they said they'd only turn themselves over to our Jinchuriki. I'm not going to lie, I don't like this. It feels a bit too convenient, but realities being what they are, I simply can't ignore it. I believe we can handle it, Tsunade-sama. That's good, Kakashi. Because of who's involved, I'll let you have command on this one. Just be alert, and if this goes sideways, regardless of how Naruto feels, kill them both. Hi. It took 3 days to get to the agreed-upon meeting spot. Naruto couldn't shake the feeling that something was off about this mission. While it happened, it was unusual to brief a single member of a squad when said squad had multiple Jonin. Also, Jinchuriki just leaving their village didn't happen, most were conditioned to never consider it. Naruto met enough of his family and burden to be aware of that fact, and for two of the oldest containers to want to defect, it just didn't add up. However, he had wanted to meet these two. Hopefully he could establish a bond with them as well. Han-san, Rashi-san, I presume? Hi. Both replied. Hi, I'm Naruto Uzumaki Senju and I'll be your escort into Konoha. Are you guys ready to go? What's the rush, Naruto-san? We like to ask you a few questions first. Okay, go ahead. What is Konoha like? Asked Han. Hot summers, tolerable winters. People are people. How were you treated there? Asked Rashi. Well enough. Naruto says before looking down and pinching the bridge of his nose. May I ask a question? Of course, Naruto-san. Those 40 IWA shinobi, were they a just in case or will they be joining in? Both IWA Jinchuriki dash back when Naruto says that, with Rashi performing hand seals, Lave style. Melting apparition jutsu, he says, and a stream of mud is released from his mouth, melting everything it touches on contact. Naruto manages to dodge but is instantly struck by Han, a powerful blow that sends him flying backward. Looking to press his luck, Han races toward the down Naruto, only to be struck long distance by Storm style. Laser circus from a Naruto clone masked by a genjutsu from Sakura, catching Han in the abdomen. Naruto instantly places a chakra suppression seal on Han. Rashi, realizing he can't perform a jutsu that close to Han without killing him, moves toward Naruto but is entrapped by wood, long enough for Kakashi to apply a chakra suppression seal as well. Sensei, we have a problem. There are 40 IWA shinobi speeding toward here, but that's the least of it. You ain't kidding, brat? Said Haiden. As the Konoha shinobi square up, Kakashi Hatake, I could get quite the bounty from your head, brat, but we aren't here for you nor the QB today. You have a choice, try to fight us and you'll either be killed by us or the IWA Nin. Allow us to leave, which gives you the opportunity to avoid fighting the IWA Nin as well. What's it going to be? To this, Naruto is shaking mad. Yes, they just tried to kill him, and if his team hadn't prepared for that likely outcome he may very well have been seriously injured, but can he let them suffer what they are about to? And what about Kurama's family? Go. He hears Kakashi says and he sees the smug satisfaction on the face of the one with the scythe. That smug, my victory was always assured face. How Naruto hates that face. Such a Sasuke face. A face in need of humbling. The Akatsuki have collected the downed Jinchuriki. The IWA Nin were approaching. They should flee. The smart thing to do is flee. They are going to be tortured, the bijou will be sealed and God knows what, he thinks. It's unpleasant but my siblings will reform. Naruto, you know what you need to do. You know better than valuing non-existent bonds. Fine, but if I'm going to do this I'm doing it, are you ready? Yes. Tenzo, Sakura and Kakashi were looking at Naruto. He hadn't moved for several seconds and slowly start to see orange markings emerge on his face. The markings are around his eyes and one on his forehead, similar to Tsunade's with a semicircle beneath it. When Naruto opened his eyes, they saw that his eyes were no longer blue but violet eyes with black slitted pupils. They then saw Naruto hold his hand up to the sky and saw a Rasengan-like ball form, but shortly after started looking like a shuriken and was making a humming sound. Only Kakashi truly understood what was happening. He muttered in awe. As soon as the technique was stabilized, Naruto threw it at the Akatsuki members. Each alerted by the sound and dodged, one to the left, one to the right, but neither actually managed to avoid the technique as it soon exploded in a maelstrom of microscopic blades, lasting over 5 seconds. Soon there was a release of energy from the two Jinchuriki, signaling they were killed while either Akatsuki member was getting up, but they could hear a stream of profanity from the one with the scythe. How is he still alive? Asked Sakura. Jashinist, answered the 3 Jonin. We should get out of here. We can still avoid the IWA Nin. We have enough of a head start even without your Hiraishin, Naruto. Said Kakashi. I can't. Unfortunately the events that have just transpired have succeeded in getting my blood up. Oh. Kakashi replied, knowing there wasn't much to do as the Uzumaki weren't known for being the most chill of people. He sees his students summon 5 shadow clones. 2 toss a number of kunai that then multiply into several dozen, and Kakashi has to stop himself from being jealous of the luxury to overload jutsu with no cost. Soon those kunai all explode, creating a great deal of debris, and Kakashi can't put on his hand on the point. The other 3 run through hand seals for the earth style, earth siege jutsu, as an earth wall with a series of spikes formed just at the edge of the debris field, and then dispelled themselves. With his Sharingan active, he watched as the original Naruto and the two remaining clones performed 63 hand seals before saying, Sage Art, Nature's Fury, and soon Kakashi watched as 3 funnel clouds emerged from the sky headed speedily toward the ground. The IWA Nin were caught unaware, and by the time they noticed the tornadoes headed toward the torn terrain, it was too late. The sound of flesh meeting rock and tree and bodies colliding with each other was sickening. Their muffled screams of pure agony was even worse. 1 minute, 14 seconds is how long Naruto held the jutsu, and once it stopped, no IWA Nin was moving. Naruto stated he could sense some still existing chakra signatures but not many, and after sealing Haiden in a prisoner scroll, the team started to return home. Hey Naruto, what was that? Could you be more specific, Sakura? I don't think I can. Okay, the markings were a result of me entering Sage Mode, which happens when you can absorb and utilize nature chakra and allows me to perform senjutsu. The technique that killed Han, Rashi, and that Akatsuki guy was the completed Rasengan, completed with wind chakra, and I call it the Rasen Shuriken. And the last offensive technique was just me extending me pulling and forming wind outside of me, similar to how the Night Aim pulled moisture from the air. I just used it to form a few tornadoes. Naruto, that's amazing. Thank you, Sakura. I'm just glad no one was hurt, but I do wonder what this will do to the Akatsuki. We also need to figure out why IWA is suddenly interested in killing you, said Kakashi. Could they have found out about your heritage, Naruto? That could be it. Killing their most infamous missing Nin would get you on their radar. We need to hurry back and report all of this. Naruto, you may have to be shelved for a while, Kakashi offered. I don't see how that benefits anyone. Naruto, it is very possible an entire hidden village wants you dead. That wouldn't exactly be a new experience. Kakashi, Tenzo, and Sakura all bristle at that. Granted, but the difference being IWA would have the support of the Kage. Naruto, I know you're strong, but this should worry you. If IWA becomes a problem, we'll burn that bridge when we get to it, but until the Akatsuki is neutralized completely, putting me on the bench is ridiculous. IWA and Kumo both have a price on your head, and you still complete missions. Naruto, I don't think you understand the depths of their irrational hatred of your father. This is a serious threat. I understand that, Sensei. There isn't much to be done now, not until we talk to Tsunade-sama. Is he awake? Yes, Tsuchikage-sama, right this way. Anoki was livid, almost beyond words. 2 Jinchuriki, 40 Jonin, and 2 S-rank missing Nin defeated by that goddamn Namikaze bastard. Of course, none of his shinobi were close enough to confirm it was all done by the Namikaze. Every IWA Nin has gotten the impression that the Kyuubi Jinchuriki is to be referred to only as the Namikaze and nothing else, solely, but Anoki knows it's true and his belief is stronger than any fact. Now, Anoki is trying to get what information he can from the 5 survivors of that misadventure. Can you tell me what happened? Hi, Tsuchikage-sama. We were all keeping a pretty significant distance just in case Han and Rashi accessed their bijou. At the first sign of conflict, we all started to move in, but we didn't rush as we didn't feel the release of any potent chakra and figured Han and Rashi subdued the Yuzu Namikaze. Soon we saw a giant orb of chakra and all started picking up the pace. Soon we heard a number of explosions and saw an earth wall with spikes coming out of it. Before we could even begin to move around the wall, 3 tornadoes emerged from the sky, the force of which threw me back and gave me a concussion. I only remember waking up here, Sandame-sama. Thank you, son, get some rest. Soon Tsuchikage returned to his office with his advisors. We barely have enough for a bingo book entry. Damn it, how did they hide this brat? How? Normally, if a shinobi drops off the radar, I'd assume ANBU service, Anoki-sama. That can't be, can it? No one puts their Jinchuriki through that kind of training. We have to allow for the possibility that Konoha may. They were never known for utilizing their previous Jinchuriki. We don't even know who they were. Those insipid tree huggers would make a shinobi of their weapon. One more reason to despise them, spat Anoki. What are we going to do? Any more overt attempts on the Namikaze's life, and we may find ourselves at war with no Jinchuriki and no S-rank shinobi outside of you. I don't know, just give me some time to think. Logically, war isn't worth it to kill one brat, but if we allowed the Namikaze to live, that could be bad for us in the very near future. I'll weigh my options. In aim, the true leader of the Akatsuki is taking the delay of his plans as well as one might imagine. That fucking brat. I should have killed him years ago. I don't care if I have to wait longer. I'm going to rip the Kyuubi out of him just like I did that mother of his and watch as it destroys Konoha. Yes, that's what I'll do. But I'll torture him first. Maybe make him watch me kill that rental mom he has. Yes, he'll suffer. Madara, you need to calm down. This was never about senseless violence. We need to rethink our plans. The 4 and 5 tails won't return for at least 3 years and we need new members. Shut your mouth, Nagato. I don't know how, but this is partially your fault, so shut up before you piss me off. Madara, buddy, do we need to get Itachi and Kisame here for a hug circle? You're kinda losing yourself to your anger. Ugh, just ugh. I'm going to that new juice bar. Could you get me an apple, carrot, and ginger juice? Asked Conan. Oh, I'll take a mixed berry and citrus, said Nagato through his Deva path. Fine, anything else? No, they both say, and Madara leaves. That guy needs a vacation, any, Conan-chan? It had been 2 weeks since Iwa's failed ambush, and Naruto was currently working on some Fuinjutsu at the Senju compound. When they returned, Kakashi was initially worried about Naruto's response to IWA wanting him dead. Tsunade later informed him it was likely a response to having to kill the 2 Jinchuriki, as Naruto feels a type of kinship with those who have been burdened like he has, and after a few days, Naruto relayed as much to his sensei. Naruto, however, was down for long as he was spending a lot of time with his friends, family, and a certain lavender-eyed princess. Although she had been sent on an infiltration mission a few days ago, and he hoped she'd be returning soon. Naruto was interrupted from his thoughts by a knock on the door. Naruto-sama, the Hokage has requested your presence in the council meeting room. Thank you, Borsan. I'll leave immediately. After quickly getting dressed, he did just that. Thanks to his partnership with Kurama, Naruto could feel negative emotions, so he realized something was very wrong. Tsunade looked upset, and even Hiashi, which Naruto wondered why he was there, was visibly shaken, reporting, Hokage-sama, thank you, Naruto. We have something to tell you and a potential mission. As you know, the Jashinus named Haiden was brought in roughly 2 weeks ago. After being interrogated by TNI, we discovered that the man Akatsuki base is in AIM. We sent Jiraiya and Hinata to infiltrate the village but hadn't heard anything until we received this letter. Tsunade then began to read the letter. To my favorite little orphan fox, you have participated in the murder of 4 of my men. You have delayed my plans. This I find unacceptable. I have killed your sensei, his body decorates my floor. Come and see. I have your lover, make me wait too long and I might visit her. Come and see, the fox inside of you was always mine. It was when I ripped it out of your mother, it was when I forced your father to kill himself in order to seal it in you. It is now time to return my possession, it is now time for you to die, little fox. Your life was always mine, I've allowed you to leave for 16 years on a whim but no longer. If I have to come for you, I'll kill everyone you love, then I'll enjoy watching you scream in agony. Your death by my hands was always your fate, little fox, you're too weak to deny me, come and see. Madara Uchiha. Naruto the letter, and soon most everyone found it difficult to breathe as Naruto was letting out a massive amount of killing intent, going so far as to unconsciously slip into sage mode. Your orders, Hokage-sama? Naruto says through gritted teeth. You along with Team Guy will leave immediately. I already have my ANBU informing them. Then I will take my leave. Wait! Shouts Hiashi. Naruto-san, I know there is no love lost between us, but please, whatever you can do. We are all shinobi, so I won't promise to bring Hinata back healthy nor alive. But what I will promise you is that should she not make it out of there alive, I will raze AIM to the ground. Believe it!